Hello. Welcome. So today I'm joined with some very distinguished guests, and we thought it would be a good time to go over some spooky films for Halloween. This is something quite usual on this channel, once a year. So I've got a list of what I want to watch from the 13th to the 31st, and yeah, I'd like to hear your opinions, feedback, or if you've seen them, if you haven't seen them. But let me start by introducing the people I'm with. Do you guys want to say hello?
Hi.
So what is you called?
What is I called?
Me English good.
I am Razius, also known as Razius TV on YouTube, and just at Razius on Twitch.
And I'm just Charlie. I'm just here because it's become kind of a yearly tradition.
It has.
For the three of us.
It really has.
Tradition.
I do really enjoy this time of year where we get to gather and talk about spooky stuff.
Yeah, that's what we like. And throughout this stream or whatever, if you want to drop in anything you want us to talk about or comment on, please go ahead.
And Hazel said that one ear stream, so I'm guessing we're just coming out of one speaker.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Y'all will have to just deal with it.
Yeah, I can always tinker with it later when I
yeah, we're at my place with my setup, and I rarely do podcasts this way in person, but it's a yearly traditional thing with Jay Nightmares, so yeah. He's the only one that does podcasts with me here, other than Charlie, so yeah.
Wow, I feel so special.
Yeah, so special.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about some scary movies. I mean, the first one, deal with it, I don't want to... Okay, alright. So, yeah, so the first one I'm going to start off Halloween with, which starts for me tomorrow, because it starts from the 13th to the 31st. It's a good system. Is a Japanese film, obviously, called Cure, from 1997. And it's by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who did Pulse, which is also known as Cairo. He's a really great director. He's responsible for one of the creepiest scares I've ever seen. It's like a woman walking down the hallway all slow and doing body movements. It's really disturbing.
But Cure sounds like a positive title.
Yeah.
Like curing of a disease of some kind?
I think it's like a serial killer on the run kind of stuff. I absolutely am up for serial killer stuff at the moment. I think it was watching Longlegs this year. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Yeah, we saw that.
I was a big fan of Longlegs, I have to say.
I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a little bit disjointed when it got to the end. Like the beginning, I was like just like not to do too many spoilers, but like the idea with the main character and why the FBI wanted her.
Yeah.
And that was just so cool to me. I love that.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I just loved everything. I really like that director. So he did The Black Coat's Daughter before, also known as February, and I absolutely love it. Do you know he's the son of the guy from Psycho?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Osgood Perkins. Yeah, the guy who played Anthony Perkins' son.
Amazing.
He has a really troubled childhood.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
It's the fun fact. Jay Nightmares Hour. It lasts for 3. So we're going to do sort of like a serial killer detective movie to start off with.
Nice.
And just based on a previous film I've watched by that director, I think it's going to be amazing. The trailer looks really good.
So it's definitely horror, like because I noticed the tag is crime in brackets, but it's definitely a horror. Like 7, I would kind of consider a horror.
Yeah,
like, I know that's
think so.
detective-y
But
as
then,
well.
like, Saw is also considered as a
yeah.
horror.
And,
That's the
like
same thing.
yeah, like Saw definitely horror.
Silence of the Lambs.
7 is like
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
I do like a criteria of what I want to fill out, which is also on this document if you go up a tiny bit.
No, I can. That's what you sent me.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just a screenshot what you sent me. Yeah. Scroll up on the screenshot.
Can you please scroll up on this screenshot? No, it's like I feel like if you want to watch spooky films for Halloween, you got to vary them a little bit.
Oh,
like
definitely.
if you want to, it's fun to watch like Saw and then watch Saw 2 then Saw 3. You got to mix it up a bit, so you have a slow burn one night and then a bit more like jump scary another night, and then a bit maybe some comedy, maybe some like thriller kind of stuff. Otherwise it gets a bit too plain. Yeah, we enjoy the thrill. Yeah. So yeah, that one I think eases us in. It just guides us into that Halloween spirit, you know, without, you know.
So, silly question. That's tomorrow the 13th.
Right.
Have you watched anything from the 1st to the 12th of this month?
No, I did watch a couple actually. I while I was doing some like boring tasks after work, like washing my lunchbox and cleaning the dishes, I put on like
glamorous life.
Whoa guys, I would like put on like random Halloween films, like the Michael Myers films. So I'd be like Halloween 4, start watching a bit of that, and I'd be like, okay, gotta do something else now. Turn that off for a minute. But no, I haven't watched anything seriously yet.
Oh.
Or if I've been waiting for one of my videos to process, I'd just be sat there watching something, just without paying much attention. Yeah, but going on to Halloween, last year I ended my list on the 31st with Halloween 1978.
Oh, I don't remember that.
The original.
I think
Again, we do this.
Yeah.
Again, like we probably see you once a year, to be honest. Anyway, so I'm just like, what did we do last year? What was on the list?
I'm pretty sure it was something like that. Well, I tend to watch that every year, so I thought this year I'd do the 2018 version of Halloween.
Who was the director of that one?
Is it that Green? Green
I remember.
something?
I'm like, the way I tell them apart is like, which director did this? Halloween. It's like
It's one of the weird ones that Halloween 2018 does. It ignores everything apart from the first one and a little bit of the second one, but it pays homage to a lot of them.
Yeah, trying to trace the Halloween movies timeline.
Yeah, I need a
is,
spreadsheet.
Yeah, you need like several diagrams.
David Gordon Green.
David Gordon Green, yes. But I found this one very cool because I just like the idea of he's like Laurie in the first one is so obsessed with Michael Myers and she hasn't been able to move on, and it's like to her detriment, and then they hear that he's moving to a safer place where he'll never get out of and all that, so she's there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just like there is music, by the way, in the background. I just
Oh, is
realized.
there? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's the same music.
Oh, okay, we've got some
yeah.
tunes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So he's getting transported to another place, and he's like, he's never going to get out. Michael Myers will never bother us again. And then, of course, something happens, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I quite like it was 40 years later, and she's been like waiting for this day, and she hasn't been able to move on. And then she's like, oh, I've been getting ready for this guy.
See, I liked those reporter characters.
Yeah.
I think they should have been there from start to finish.
Yeah,
I'm trying not
yeah.
to spoil what happens, but
No, true,
I
yeah.
loved them. Like, so I thought they were great.
Yeah, they were a good way in because they sort of triggered it, didn't they? When they went to go speak with him. And of course, he never speaks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am a massive fan of the Halloween franchise. Like, I think that's my favorite
Even
franchise.
the Rob Zombie ones.
Oh, I don't like those.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the Rob Zombie
I've given
ones
them
are a bit dodgy.
I've given them a couple of tries, and I get into like the first half of it, but it's just like when he was a kid and talking and stuff and messing around, and then
See, we
I
were
don't
watching
know.
The Lords of Salem
Yeah.
recently,
I quite like that.
and
I thought that was
I liked it, but I pointed out to Charlie, like, whenever are there always like people just showing their parts, like,
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah, that's classic Rob Zombie. I'm like, oh, so it's like, and action. Oh wait, and then he leaps in, pulls someone's pants down slightly, goes, okay, now action. Like, is that what he's like? Like,
Yeah, he's got a style, hasn't he?
yeah,
I-
it's a style.
I love how, in a way, because obviously, like, music is a big part of Lords of Salem. Like,
Yeah.
getting off of Halloween now on a tangent. as
No,
it
that's what we're here for, tangents.
obviously, like, the music is a big part of the storyline and the main character, but it feels like you're watching like a horror movie that's a music video. Like, it
Yeah.
very much has that vibe to it, and it's just Rob Zombie all over.
It's yeah, because if you ever seen some of his like music videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Dracula.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
Dracula. That's such a tune. He peppers them with so much like horror memorabilia and stuff, doesn't he? He's loving it. Oh, Risa Dreamer. Hey, Devil's Rejects was good. Yeah, I actually really like Devil's Rejects. Did you guys see that
Yeah,
one?
I love Devil's
like,
Rejects.
with me, I'm like the type of person that's seen a movie once, and
Yeah.
it was years ago, and if I was to watch it now, it'd be like for the first time. So,
Yeah.
But like, good old Charlie shows me movies all the time, and I'm like, I know, like The Crow. Like, I've seen The Crow once, but I can't remember anything about it.
It's like
just
it's a
recently.
dream.
Yeah, so it's like a whole new film for me because I haven't seen it in so long, and just the one time. So, yeah.
I watched a review of the new Crow, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch it.
No, I haven't heard great things.
It's like you had Bill Skarsgård, like
Yeah, he's cool.
you done messed up.
And just like Joker 2 as well. I've been hearing bad things about it, but I want to see it anyway because
I'll watch it.
Yeah,
like-
that should be fun. Yeah.
And I think Lady Gaga is a brilliant actress.
Yeah, she'll be good in
She's
it,
done
yeah.
some, I hope to see her in more and better projects.
yeah.
She'll
Sorry
be
to
around.
segue too far from Halloween because we just like mentioned 3 movies now. Charlie's been showing me American Horror Story.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
we're at the season with the hotel now,
Yes.
and this is the first time I'm seeing her act. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh, cool.
She can
like,
actually, yeah.
yeah. So
She's great.
Sometimes singers can't really make that transition, so it's quite good.
yeah, like Jack Black. You know, Minecraft movie. Am I right?
Hey man, School of Rock's a banger.
I'm
Yes,
Steve.
I watched that so
thinking
many
of-
times as a kid.
Yeah, me too. Who's the other like singer I saw in a movie? You know, Taken. That has like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the girl in that? Who's the singer? It's like Holly Valance or someone.
Is it?
I don't
no,
know.
it's not. No.
I swear, Taken
Is
has
it?
a.
I
Yeah,
IMDb.
IMDb.
IMDb
We
is
never
our
lie.
friend.
The first one.
Yeah, the first Taken. Not like the girl who gets taken, but the girl who is the singer.
Is it 2017?
I don't believe it's
There's a
2017.
there's a Taken 2 2012, Taken 2017.
This is chaos. This can't happen.
Without Taken. Oh, here we go. 2008.
2008.
There we go.
Yes. Right, now, if you look on the people,
Look on the people.
Holly Valance.
Oh my god.
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
Yeah. So I
I
was
didn't know
shocked
it
to
was
see her.
her.
And she was
Oh.
like, I'll give your daughter vocal
Yeah.
lessons at the end. Because he
Oh.
saves
Yeah.
her, and then they go off and do all the
I'll be
Taken
honest, I
stuff.
haven't seen it, but I didn't know it was her. Like, what did she do? Kiss Kiss, and she was in Neighbours.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So that was a. Just if we're going on.
Your
Yeah.
copyright
Oh, yeah.
strike.
Sorry.
The vocals,
I don't do the kiss kiss.
perfect.
Yeah. I just won't do the kiss kiss.
It was a copyright strike for perfect vocals. That was the only other singer I remember who transitioned into film that my brain can remember. I think David Bowie did as well, but
Oh yeah,
Labyrinth. Oh Lord have mercy, I love Labyrinth.
I got my labyrinth tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, my good friend did that one for me at Beth Sorrows. If you want to check out her tattoo work on Instagram,
There you go.
she's awesome.
Oh, nice. I need to get tattoos. I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah, American Horror Story is great. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you were really shocked. Like, I was waiting for us to get onto Hotel because we started on season 2, Asylum.
Right.
Then we skipped Cover and went straight to Freak Show.
Yeah, I
And
hear that
then-
one's good.
Yeah, and then Evan Peters, again, a good actor who's been underused, I think. Especially like horror stuff, like obviously Dharma. He was
Oh
in.
my God, yeah.
Speaking and going back to serial killers.
Here we go.
But I felt like, and I think Raz agrees, that his character in Asylum and Freak Show quite similar. But then you get to Hotel and he's completely different.
Yeah, I like watching him for the first episode. You see him, I was like, oh, this might be weird because he's so different. But now I'm just like it's just the
Yeah.
character. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't not see the character or hear the character now, especially with that oil baron.
Yeah,
I can't do the voice, but yeah.
Bostonian,
Yeah.
like butchered British not Bristolian, Bostonian accent.
I'd like to hear it in a Bristolian accent. What are you doing there? oh, you're getting some heat, guys. You skipped Coven.
Now, I love Coven, but it's not to everyone's taste. It's a bit different. You forget that the makers of Glee made American Horror Story until you
Right,
get to
okay.
Coven, and then you're like, yeah, I can see it now.
And in my
okay.
defense, Charlie's the one showing it to me, so I don't get to pick which ones we
He's a
watch.
blank
but,
slate.
but like Asylum and Freak Show are very, very. There's a big story, like, and all these characters like very different. And now we're on Hotel. I feel like it's everyone's small story that intertwines rather than a big story going on. You know, like
Yeah.
But still, the character. I love the characters. Like, it's
Yeah,
great.
Scream Queens is great as well. If no one's seen Scream Queens,
Not seen Scream Queens.
it's like, it's almost like a horror comedy series, very like 90s 2000s slasher vibes, so like Scream,
fun.
that kind
Yeah.
of thing. So it's set at a university. I don't know how it works in America, guys, sorry. And there's a killer on campus, and yeah, it's got Emma Robertson,
Oh, yeah?
who is a frequent actor on American Horror Story, and it's just so funny. And it also has Billie Lourd, who has now been on American Horror Story as well, and she's the daughter of Carrie Fisher, and she's
Oh,
also
yeah.
a very good actress. Like, I'm excited to see her in more things.
Hey, nice.
Awesome.
Right, I will just jump back onto me little
Yes,
list here.
let's get back on track.
We're only on I think we're on Tuesday now. So if you just joined, we're talking about what to watch over Halloween. I got 20 films. I'm just going to rattle them off. If you missed the early ones, it's Cure from Japan in 1997, Halloween 2018, and the next one is one from this year that is just come out. I think I'll go to the cinema and watch, which is Salem's Lot.
I was so excited to see this on the
I
list.
was, yeah, I absolutely love that book. I've read it about 3 times.
I love the book.
And
It's so good.
Yeah, I actually
So
really
good.
like the miniseries as well that came out before with the, I think, was that like the 70s or something?
Yeah, it was kind of
Maybe?
like they did
Yeah.
it and then they did Salem's Lot.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember which way
Was
around it was.
Yeah, maybe the Salem's Lot was first because it came out after. But yeah, I really, really like the
I
story
love
of
the book.
Barlow the vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, when I heard it was being made from the creators of The Conjuring, I was like, oh, James Wan directing? But
Yeah.
no, it's
No.
Gary Doberman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know
so,
much about it. This is a weird one because it got shelved for so long. They actually, I think they planned to have this out just after the pandemic.
Oh.
Is that a word I can say?
Wait, so was a film? Was it films
Yeah.
before the
Yeah,
pandemic?
it was.
Oh,
It is
okay.
literally shelved. And the original cut of this film is over 2 hours, more closer to 3 hours.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I don't know if you don't end up watching it in the cinemas, perhaps you can get some kind of director's cut later. It might show you a bit more.
I mean, we've got the trailer playing like silent in the background, and like watching the trailer, like some of the scenes are literally from the book.
Yeah, it's like
and
your
I'm
imagination, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's exact, and I'm hoping that it's very, very close to the book.
Me too. I like that they didn't show you like the vampire Barlow in there because that would wreck it, I think.
Yeah.
But
See,
yeah,
I've not seen the old film and I've not read the book. The only facts I can give you is that the original film is the only film my mum's terrified of.
ah,
Yeah, that's the only I'm thinking like, oh, if that terrifies you, I have to see it, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
yeah.
yet. So,
Yeah.
fun fact.
I think Salem's Lot, if you want to start reading like Stephen King, it's a very easy one to get
Yeah,
into,
you can get-
and
it's not too long.
quite an easy
Yeah.
read. It's not super long like it.
yeah, Christ, yeah.
And it doesn't have like the crazy weird stuff that's in it as
yeah,
well. Like,
the stuff we shouldn't talk about.
Yeah. We don't talk
The
about
stuff that ruins
scene
it.
here.
Yeah. No, we don't want to go down the tunnels.
But I do highly recommend, and I was saying to a friend of ours the other day, if it's Stephen King recommendations, actually reading like Danny's story, like The Shining, because
Yeah,
the book is
Shining.
significantly
It's so different. It really is.
The film, like, Jack's the main character,
Yeah.
but the book is totally the other way. Like Danny,
Yeah,
you
it's-
get to learn a lot more about The Shining,
Yeah.
which is what it's supposed to be about.
I think when he wrote that as well, when Stephen King wrote that, he was in the throes of alcohol addiction, and he didn't want Jack to become this like monster at the end. He wanted it to be like something he went through to get to the other side, even though the other side for him wasn't too great at the end. But he was trying to hold off something that's wanted to hurt his family. But whereas in this Kubrick film, you get a madman.
Yeah, I think I do still love the film, but they're very different beasts.
They are, yeah. But I think the film's brilliant, though.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Fun fact: narrowly missed out this year. I actually went to the cinema last year, and they do this like secret screening kind of stuff, so you never know which film you're gonna get. And I thought, oh, it's Halloween. It's got to be Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was The Shining, and I was like, well, I'm here now. I got to watch. I was geared up for something.
I was gonna say, I think I asked Charlie this. Would you recommend Doctor Sleep?
I actually really had a fun time with Doctor Sleep.
I
think it's
haven't
really
seen
good.
it, so,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's really good. There's a really good villain in that.
Okay.
I can't remember the lady's name. It's something the Hat.
Yeah.
And she's like a vampire or someone who's
she's
survives
kind of
on
like a vampire type powers, but it's a bit different. Like not wanting to spoil it, but obviously it's the sequel, so it follows Danny when he's grown up. And in the movie, he's played by Ewan McGregor, and you see his butt.
Oh, wow.
Hello there.
Well, I'll just have to buy that film now.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta see it.
But yeah, the film was quite good. Like the book is really good.
Yeah.
I don't think the cat was in the film, so
Yeah.
that was sad.
But it was good. I remember watching it in the cinema and thinking, wow, this is really good.
Wow. Owen Wilson. Wow, it's pretty cool. Wow.
But yeah, I'm really excited for Salem's Lot.
Yeah, it should be good. Well, you never know, do you? Because
Yeah, I want to see it.
I think it was one of the reasons that I loved. What was the one? It was like the same makers of Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, right.
Oh, Midnight Mass.
yeah,
Midnight Mass gave me very like Salem's Lot vibes.
I haven't seen that one.
12 out of 10.
12 out of
recommend.
10.
The body
12 out
language.
of 10.
Oh.
Love it.
If you love Salem's Lot, you'll love Midnight Mass.
Oh, Midnight Mass. Damn, I should have put it on the list this year.
Yeah, so I really recommend it. Obviously, Haunting of Hill House is really good. Very different again to the book. It's definitely, yeah,
Sweet.
but it's still really good.
Nice. Okay, so the next one up I've got is a film called Host from 2020.
See, whenever anyone says host, I think of The Host,
But
like
the Korean one, yeah,
Monster
that's a cool
one.
film,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's such a good film.
Have you guys seen this one?
I don't
No,
know.
I've not seen any host film.
Genuinely terrifying.
Oh.
I honestly think so. It's one of the films that actually scared the life out of me.
Ooh.
And it's filmed within the pandemic, if I can say. And it's all through like Zoom cams and cameras set up in the
that's
house, people
fun.
filming each other,
Yeah.
checking in on each other. And what they decide to do, all through the, like the Zoom or FaceTime calls and all that, they go, let's do a seance. It's boring in lockdown. And what they... It's
Bad idea.
it's always a bad idea. But what they do unleashes something, and it is just so entertaining and so heart racing. And I think it's not a long film. It's only about 70 minutes or something like that. So it's like it's a bit like Wreck, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
quick
yeah.
in and out.
Yeah,
kind
I
of.
like Wreck.
Yeah, it was really creepy, and especially when you watch them through the phone, because the phone might be toppled to the side, or the laptop that's filming it might be shunted to the side or something, and then you're like, oh my god, they don't know that something's about to happen, or something's moving in the background, a door opens. It's sort of like all those creepy clips that you see on YouTube and stuff.
I am really
amalgamated.
enjoying, like, there's been like one or two films like that that are really good, and I can't remember the name of it, but there was one about a guy's daughter goes missing and he's trying to find her, and it's all told through,
Oh, I
like,
know what you're
Facebook
talking about.
and-
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
not like Mungo, is it?
No, I
no,
can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember.
Maybe
I
it's
will
missing.
message
But-
you about it.
Yeah.
But
It's so well done.
so it actually terrified you, like
Yeah, this film actually really scared
It
me.
looks like we got the trailer on in the background.
I think that's a
these days.
different one now.
Oh.
I have to be honest with
Oh,
you.
I thought I saw a
'Cause-
face cam clip. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
If you refresh, I think you'll get the one. Hey, you got some people joining. Hey, Kim. Hi, everybody.
oh, was it a
Thanks for joining.
Shudder original? Yeah,
that's
there
it.
you go.
This is-
I was gonna say that to me looks like the VHS
Yeah,
movies. It
yeah,
reminds me of that.
reminiscent
Like,
of that,
VHS
absolutely.
is really good.
but I was gonna say, I can't remember if we spoke about this last year, but Skinamarink kind of terrifies
yeah.
me.
I
Have
still
you
haven't
seen
seen that.
Oh, like it brings back
People like it, people hate it,
So
I've heard.
good.
because like the kids they have like acting in it, they're not acting. That's the scary thing.
just
It's like
them.
Really?
it's just kids
Reacting.
Yeah, it's just kids reacting to what's happening, and I'm like, and it kind of opens up a weird nostalgic fear for me, as if like if I was a kid, I would be doing exactly that. Like
Oh,
I can't
man.
explain it. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
such an experience. Like I think there are a few films that feel like an experience, and the way it's shot, like everything's like low down, like you don't see like the light switches because the kids can't reach the light switches.
Yeah,
So it's a POV from the children's side.
Kind of, but it's so different and it's so good, and it just leaves you
Skin in the ring.
wondering, and it doesn't overshow things. It's all very atmospheric. It's very, I think people don't like it because they see it as boring, but it's like literally what the kids are going through.
Yeah, it's the little details you see as well. Like, again, not gonna spoil, but you'll see like chairs being placed in certain areas, and again, it's always dark. And people are like, oh, I could hardly see anything, it's always dark. And it's like, yeah, they're kids, they can't reach the light switches.
Oh,
and they're using
okay.
chairs to climb up to countertops
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
see, yeah.
So, you know, so it's like little details like that make you think, oh yeah, you know? But yeah, so I keep doing this where we're talking about a movie specific topic, and then I'm like, well, let me just segue this and talk about this film.
I absolutely love. It says the background music is conflicting with the chat a little bit. Can you
we'll
whack it down a tiny bit?
down.
Thank you, Fracas Maximus.
Fracas Maximus.
What a name that is, by the way.
Fracas Maximus.
Appreciate you for bringing that up. It's
Yeah, I turned it down a notch.
thank you.
Yeah, if anyone notices anything we need to like adjust, just shout out in the chat and hopefully we'll see it.
I even
doubt.
said to Jay Nightmares, oh, there's not going to be any music playing in the background. And I scrolled down and realised there's music playing in the background. But again, we're hosting this at my place, so I'm the one monitoring everything, so
Yeah, because I'm not smart enough to do any of this stuff, guys. So I rely heavily on these two. But yeah, that was Host. If I could recommend a film that I think would scare people,
we'll probably go like watch that. Like,
if I could pick a film that I think would scare people, I would say Host. I honestly think that's cool. Anyway, on to another one.
This one I have seen.
This one, here we go. This is one.
One of your
This will be a
faves.
bit familiar territory for most of you, I guess. Aliens, 1986. And this is the thing I was saying at the start. If you watch all horror, and all that, you need a bit of something different to break it up. Like a bit of action, a bit of, a bit. I don't know, something different. A bit sci-fi.
Yeah.
So
Action.
aliens, by their very nature, the xenomorphs themselves terrified me when I was younger.
yeah.
I think they're so cool to watch as well as an
I
adult.
loved them. I was never like scared by them. I just loved them.
Yeah, I was just so worried that when I went into the bathroom or something, there'd be one just tucked up high that I couldn't
In the walls,
see
yeah.
immediately, and then you'd see that big long tail come down behind you in the mirror or something.
Yeah.
Oh goodness!
Cool, isn't
I wasn't
it?
scared of ghosts; I was scared of the aliens.
Childhood trauma. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
We love childhood trauma.
Oh, yeah.
definitely. But yeah, I'm a massive fan of Aliens. I think it's one of the best films ever.
So the question is, a director's cut or just theatrical cut,
I
normal?
think we'll stretch to a director's cut.
Yeah,
We'll go for it.
Definitely, it's
On.
worth it.
Go for a Blu-ray as well.
But do you like, other than Alien and Aliens, do you like the other Alien movies?
I do.
Prometheus and all that? And
I do actually. I really rate them.
did you watch the recent one?
I think they're. Yeah, I really liked the new one. To be honest with you, I thought it was really stressful, and that's sort of what I want from an Alien film. Like, there was some stylistic choices that I didn't really like. Like, all of a sudden it was sort of like Predator, where they can't detect movement and stuff, and a bit Jurassic Park. I didn't care for that, but some of the stuff like, oh my god, it's broken out, it's chasing you. That's what I want from an Alien film.
Yeah.
I want the
Yeah.
threat of danger to be keeping me on the edge of my seat. And
Yeah.
So overall, I'd say I liked it.
I have a controversial opinion on the
Ooh.
Alien movies. I love Alien 3.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. It's the one everyone. We don't
Yeah.
talk about Resurrection, but
I like Resurrection.
it's fun. Like Winona Ryder's
Ron
in it.
Perlman,
Yeah,
grenade
Ron
launcher,
Perlman's in
yeah.
it. And the guy, what's his name in Resurrection? Like Tracy or something. He's the guy with the knives in The Crow as well. So.
Oh.
Oh, the
Tom,
dreadlocks.
thanks for joining us. If you have to go, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just sorry, one of the long-time viewers is saying he's got to jump off. Cheers, Tom. Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Get back
for
to writing,
joining,
pal.
Tom.
And Ripley doing the one-shot basketball.
Yeah, she
moment.
actually did that though. Sigourney
Yeah.
Weaver actually did that, and they had to cut it short because Ron Perlman was like, "Hurry!"
Yeah.
But Yeah, I absolutely love Alien 3. And,
Yeah, it's great. It was by the original director, wasn't it?
Yeah, and my colleague Ben, name dropping him,
Name dropper.
name drop. We often talk about movies because we got similar tastes, and I was telling him about one of like the original ideas for Alien 3, where it was going to be like an almost like, I don't want to say like Amish, but like everything's like agriculture and made of wood, and there's like, it was just gonna be like this planet where, and like they were gonna have like a religious cult where they want Ripley to give birth to the alien as like a new god. And I was like, can we just like forget that it was like originally like an alien like pitch, but like I want to see that movie. Like I want to see the weird, I can't see it.
Like, there's a comic, isn't it?
Is it? Isn't that
the weird? Like I want to see it.
I think
I
it's a
suppose
comic.
it's a bit like the new. Did you see the new Prey?
I loved Prey.
I loved it too. So that might be slightly similar because that was like Predator back in a time when they had like not as advanced
musket
weapons.
rifles,
But it sounded like to me like the vibe was folk horror in space, and it's alien, and like can we have that please? Like can someone pick that up, because I want to see that movie, because I feel like sci-fi horror has been a bit lacking. There's not been anything like different. It's always like, oh, like we found this creature, like, you know, this blob thing, and now it's gonna kill everyone. Like, but like that was such a cool, out there, wacky original idea. Like, let's have that.
I think you can read like script ideas online, like original pitches and stuff.
Do you know who would be really good as a director?
Cool.
The guy that directed Blade Runner 2049 and the Dune movies, Dennis Villeneuve.
We're just building our favourite films now.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
He would be really good.
Yeah, it sounds like a great
Dennis,
idea.
if you're out there listening, which I know you're not, hit me up, bro.
Or Robert Eggers.
Yeah. We get the Eggman on board.
The Eggman.
I really like Aliens though. If we go back to that one, no worry. When you see the Queen, I think that's just the scariest thing ever, because you just think, oh well, the alien was scary enough, and the facehuggers were even worse, but oh my god, there's this even bigger one down there.
The funny thing is it the Queen that's in Alien vs Predator, the first one? Is it like the T-Rex sized one? Is that the Queen? Or
yeah, that's the big one.
Because like obviously watching it back then, we had different TVs, you know, the boxed ones.
Yeah.
So if you were to watch it now on Blu-ray, the CGI would look terrible.
Yeah.
It looked great at the time for us because of the TVs we had and DVD quality. But now watching it Blu-ray or HD DVD on the TVs we have now, just like Dragonheart, if you remember that movie,
I remember
Sean Connery voicing the
Dragonheart.
dragon. Watching it as a kid on the TVs we had, CGI looks great. If you were to watch it now, it's horrible.
Really?
It's unwatchable. Yeah.
Wow.
I think the thing with like Aliens though, like it used, and the whole like, you know, series, they used practical effects. It was
There was like 19 different guys who did the puppets for the Queen alien.
Which is what The Thing 2011 should have been.
Yes, it should be. That's what they planned for it.
Yeah, I know the story of that. Like,
that.
But I'm still glad they made it, because it's cool, more Thing, but but still.
The guy did get his redemption. He did a film afterwards called Harbinger Down.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, which is a real cool creature feature. So he showed them what they were missing.
I've seen another movie.
But I think Aliens is done by James Cameron. Or Cameron.
James Cameron.
And he did Titanic and of course
Avatar
and Jurassic Park.
Did he do Avatar? Or?
Yeah, he's Avatar. And Terminator 2. And Aliens, what a
Yeah.
CV, eh? Look
What's
at
his
that.
name? Is it Bill Paxton? Game over, man.
Yeah.
Game over.
He's
yeah.
in Terminator 1 as one of the punks he steals the clothes from, you know, the star.
I've
He gets wrecked
seen
so
Bill
often.
Paxton. Like I not like technically met him, but my friend was getting something signed, and I was there, so I was like, "Hey, man."
Oh.
Game over, man.
Yeah,
must
my
get that
friend,
about 20
my
times a
friend
day,
was
right?
doing like a alien, like a colonial marine cosplay as well. It was
Oh,
really
Laundry
cool.
night,
Yeah.
no clean clothes, game over. Just like quoting everything he's done.
Nice. Prey was well done. Thanks, Fracus Maximus, with your fantastic name. I don't think I'm going to get bored of that one. I'll go on to my next one then. So we're on day 18. Well, we're on the 18th now, and this is where it goes a little bit off, off to a separate angle. I'm going with a film from 1954 called Them.
I want to see that.
Now,
I've heard of, but not
it's
watched.
it's so weird. I think if you refresh it, you'll get the trailer. Yeah, it's like it's one of those films. I absolutely have so much time for these like old American monster movies. Like, oh my god, the monsters are attacking the building.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing?
They're going to take our cigars, man.
Yeah, I want to watch stuff like that because like when you go, like I said a few too many times already, when you watch so many horror films, you want something to break it up a bit, and I want like the almost imitation of the Godzilla films from Japan in America. So this 1954 film about giant ants and America having to use several bazookas to destroy them is what I'm about.
They're puppets, right? They're not, because you know some old bug.
You tell me there's no giant ants out there.
Well, no, I mean, there's like the giant tarantula, and there was a real one that had like up close to camera lens. So I don't know if I've not seen them, so I don't know if it's real ants up close to the camera lens or it's puppetry.
It's puppetry,
okay.
But it looks great.
It's dudes in suits go, whoa, I'm an ant.
We're gonna get you guys. Yeah,
it's because the trailer hasn't shown it yet. So
no, they keep them quite hidden in the trailer, unfortunately. But you get like a kind of idea. They send in the military, all these guys. They don't know where these ants have come from, but they're ants. It reminds me of another Stephen King book. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of it. This happened the other day. It's where
he has so many books.
Yeah, it's the guy with the electric who wants to. It's the guy with the electric. I'm being very helpful. You know, the man with the electric. It's called not Elevation. He wants like. In the end, you see like a horrible world where there's ant lords. I'm sure somebody must be able to look inside my mind and find the title. Because I can't
find us the Stephen King story.
Can you guess what I'm thinking?
With the ant overlords.
I was going to say,
you win a toffee.
The artist who did the background image of us, Alley Cat. If you describe any movie to her, she's seen it.
Oh wow!
Like, because there was a film. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like sci-fi horror where there's a guy trying to change what human beings look like with an alien DNA injection or something, and they're growing third eyes and stuff, and like coming out of weird tentacle tube things, going screaming. And I was describing that to her, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen that. It's this." And I was like, I thought I dreamt that because this is like I saw the trailer like on VHS as a kid, so I was like, what movie is that? Did I dream that? That was a weird nightmare. And she was like, no, that's a film. I've seen it. It's called this. I was like, oh, it is real. Yeah.
Oh man,
I forgot what's called.
We could do
but if she was here, you know, like, shout out to AlleyCat01134 who did the artwork for our stream background you're looking at right now. So yeah, she'll know. Just describe any movie to her, and she'll know what it is. She's seen it.
It's true. I've tested her.
Well, I can't find this through my own thing. Anyway, we'll come back to that. It might pop into my head towards the end. So there's a cliffhanger for you guys.
Yeah.
I might remember some
cliffhanger fun facts.
I will. So now you can see we've gone from aliens to some sort of other alien, a couple years apart, a couple decades apart. I'm actually pretty proud. If I can take a brief pause and say I'm pretty proud of this list this year because I've got from the 40s to 2024.
That's pretty good.
And they all seem pretty good ones. So that one was 54. So we've had our 50s, we've had our 80s. So now we're going to go for another 2023 one, which is called When Evil Lurks.
I can see that there are goats in this film, and I'm immediately sold.
It's I've tried to learn as little as I can about this going in. I think it's.
Should I pause the trailer then?
I've watched the trailer. The trailer's fine. It reminds me of The Witch.
I was going to say it's giving me witch vibe.
It's sort of like a demon in a small
demon folk
town
horror kind of vibe.
Yeah,
I love that.
The write-ups and things I've heard people talk about it, they cannot praise it highly enough. So I am
I think I did
ready
see
to
the
watch
trailer
this.
for this.
Yeah.
I remember that shot that we just saw.
Yeah, I'm ready for like a demonic folktale with demons creeping about and stuff. Yeah, that'll be a nice gear change after the 1954 monster movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, that looks so good.
Yeah, I'm always tempted to subscribe to Shudder just to get all the good movies.
Me too. Yeah, so I can't talk too much of that one because I don't really know anything about it, but apparently it's a bit of a good one. So maybe check it out if you get a chance.
Yeah, we'll update you next year.
Is it in Spanish or something?
I think it's in Spanish, yeah.
Ooh, Spanish horror movies are so good, though.
Yeah.
Because Wreck was Spanish, wasn't it? I can't remember what the original name of it is, but...
I found it.
Yeah.
The Ant Overlord.
I've done a remember, thanks to Google. The book I was talking about, if anybody's remotely interested in, the Ant Overlords from the Stephen King book was Revival.
Revival.
Yes, which was very good. Which he annoyed me so much because I was thinking, it's getting to the last 100 pages. When are you going to make this scary? When are you going to make this scary? You're really annoying me now. 70 pages, 60, and then I thought, I remember saying it like to my brother, and I remember saying, "Oh, I'm gonna quit this. This is stupid. I don't want to." And then, next time I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, he did it. He scared me at the end."
Yeah.
He really annoyed me, but he scared me at the end because it's like a depiction of what you see in the afterlife, and oh my god, is it worth reading it all the way to the end?
Oh, thank you, Fracas Maximus.
Yeah.
Wreck was the original, Quarantine was the remake.
Yes.
The original all the way, though.
I absolutely love Wreck. That's another great one for a short scare. I've watched Wreck so many times. You know,
It's so good, though.
It's so good. It's found footage as well, done really well.
Yeah.
Found footage done well is brilliant.
And also Fracas Maximus, of the great name, saying that Prey was done quite well, all things considered. If you haven't watched it in the original Comanche language, then I would really recommend that, because a lot of the lines come across very different if you're watching it in the original language with subtitles, and a lot of the subtext is kind of like missed when the actors are doing like the English language version. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, so they released like 2 versions, and I just think that the attention and like homage to the Comanche people, and they went through like so much to try and make it as authentic as possible by actually speaking to the indigenous people that they were basing the tribe on, well, not the tribe, the tribe on. But yeah, I would recommend watching it in the original Comanche with subtitles, 100%.
I might give that a go myself. That sounds great. Talking about something else that needs subtitles.
Yeah.
I've gone back-to-back subtitles. I've gone for a Korean film next, Gonjiam, Haunted Asylum, which is found footage, which links into the Wreck thing as well. This is firing on all cylinders. So this one is, in my head, because I haven't dug into this as much, and it's going to be a new film for me, I think it's going to be sort of more like a Grave Encounters, but in Korea. And if you guys have seen that, but it looks like some people go and look in an abandoned, haunted mental asylum, and
Which
they take
never
camera.
goes wrong.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's always a good idea, isn't it? And then they strap cameras to their body, and then we'll see what happens. But
See, it's making me imagine, like, surely, you know, because we've gone through, which was the face cam horror Host. Was that what we were talking about?
Host,
like,
yeah.
at some point, you know, there's like live streams where people vlog. I bet in the future there's going to be a horror film where it is a live stream, or it's presented as a live stream. It's found footage, but the whole movie is a live stream.
Yeah.
So obviously the actors are cued to do what, when, and stuff, but it's one shot.
oh man,
So
that would be good.
I bet something like that's gonna happen. I'm predicting it, or Raz prediction.
it.
Or he's
like,
gonna make it.
It's gonna seem like a one-shot movie that's presented as a live stream, but it's a found footage movie. Like, yo guys, it's like us from YouTube, and we're gonna go like infiltrate, let's just say, an abandoned insane asylum. Let's go and check it out. And
There's a Japanese film that did a little bit similar to that.
oh,
Yeah. Inugaki Mura, at the Inugaki village. It's it is like just like you said. It's like YouTubers going, "We heard about this haunted place. We're gonna go look in."
B-boy.
Yeah, but it has a few cuts, and then you get people picking up the camera and stuff. It's not exactly like a perfect live stream.
What was
But
that?
it would be good. I like your idea.
What was that Japanese
One
movie?
Shot
King's...
of the Dead.
Yeah,
Have
King's...
you
I've seen that.
it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Like,
Yeah?
it's basically, oh no, wait, I shouldn't actually say anything about it, should
No,
I?
let's
No.
not tell.
No, okay.
No.
All right.
Just watch it.
Yeah, don't.
Trust me, bro, watch it. Like, yeah.
And then let us know what you think.
Okay,
because it's
One Shot
so
of the
good.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, One Shot
Right
of
on.
the Dead.
One
Sounds
Shot
cool.
of the Dead.
it will surprise you.
I think it's Japanese.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, check
Yeah.
it out.
Thank you. Shout out to Kingsfire for showing that to us.
Thanks,
Hey, Kings.
Yeah.
It's my main man.
We miss you.
Yeah, me too. So that's another one I don't really know too much to talk about, but for our next one, we're going back to the 80s. For the year I was actually born, 1988.
Yeah, the year before I was born.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey,
now
Vina.
you know we're ancient.
So this is The Blob, which is actually a remake of one from the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like really disturbing body horror, I think.
Yeah.
Once this massive gelatinous horribleness touches you, you're so dead.
Again,
Like, beyond.
I know I've seen
Yeah.
this once, but
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it. So
I remember it like genuinely creeping me out why this thing was just moving and getting people all the time. And I watched it fairly recently.
So do you think there's a trend where, you know, like there are the horror movies in the 50s, they get remade in the 80s, and then movies in the 80s are being remade now? Do you think
For
do you
real.
think the ones being remade now hold up than the 80s?
I would say it's hit and miss, isn't it?
Yeah,
because some of them,
like the Thing, like as an example, you
The
know,
Thing
or
is-
Halloween, you know.
yeah, the thing is fantastic as a remake, but yeah, some of them miss, some of them hit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to find out with Salem's Lot that was mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, and I honestly think sometimes that
And
remake.
Colour Out of Space is one as well.
Yeah, I like Color Out of Space. Yeah,
Oh, I haven't seen that. I know what it is. But just think, like, in 20 to 30 years' time, these remakes are going to be remade again. Like,
Yeah.
Salem's Lot is going to be remade again in 20, 30 years' time.
it
I
is.
think,
It
like-
And
definitely
The
is.
Thing, and an Alien movie, is
I think like the Blob, like people would like laugh at the idea of it, but like if you actually like watch it and think about it, like that's not a fun way to go.
yeah, terrifying.
You know, this unstoppable thing that you don't understand, and
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
it's just scary. It's one of those weird ones where it will just get you anywhere, you know.
yeah.
Like and that's why I tend to think of it as body horror, because
Oh yeah.
I was gonna go with something a bit more modern, but I realized I had about like 20 modern films in this one. Maybe something like The Substance might be.
yeah.
That's a new one that
and
came
again,
out.
we
Yeah.
have the trailer playing in the background for us, muted, obviously, but it's not showing much of the Blob.
No.
So I love horror movies that don't show you, or they show you as little of the quote-unquote monster as possible, to
Yeah.
make you think like, I have to see the film now to see what it
Yeah,
is. Like, yeah, I have to
exactly.
go to the movie theaters or cinema to actually see what it is.
And again, I think like stuff like the Blob, even though it's like quote unquote dated now, it's a lot more original than some of the alien life form films that have come out like in recent years that I've just become really just disappointed with, because my thing on aliens is if they exist, like how can we have any comprehension whatsoever? They're not going to be little grey dudes.
Yeah.
Like
I could talk about
different
aliens
planets
so
have got
long.
completely
Yeah.
different elements, like everything. We can't comprehend that. It's beyond our level of comprehension what alien life could be.
Do you know what the scariest alien film I ever watched? I think is The Fourth Kind.
Yeah.
Because I really find it disturbing that there's an owl outside and watching them, and then they
Yeah.
can't remember what happened the next night, and they have to listen back to recordings. Oh my
Look,
god, it
it-
really disturbed me.
As a film in its entirety, yes, but I would say the scariest alien moment was, is it Fire in the Sky?
Oh my
that,
god,
That scene, like,
yeah, I just got
that
goosebumps. I just got
that
goosebumps.
one scene though,
Yeah.
not the film in its entirety,
Yeah.
just that one scene.
It's like
but,
when it
yeah.
clings tight to his skin, and
And just him
oh,
screaming.
God,
like,
yeah.
So
It's really disturbing.
A good alien life form movie that I watched recently, which I was a bit behind on watching, was the Jordan Peele one. Nope.
Nope, yeah, I watched
It
that.
was so good.
I watched that on the way to Japan. I fell asleep about 4 times, but I need to rewatch it.
It was so good. Like, I wasn't. Went into it without any expectations, because I kind of think you have to with Jordan Peele movie. And like, I watched Us, and I got the twist like straight away. Opening like sequence or whatever. I was like, oh, that's what it's gonna be. And it was. But I can see how a lot of people would have missed it. I'm not shaming like plot twist guesses. But Nope was like, it really surprised me because I went into it not knowing what to expect, and it wasn't what I expected it to be, but it was fantastic. And
cool.
again, it goes into like, you know, it's an alien life form, but it's not little grey men, spoiler, but like, it's how can we possibly comprehend what alien life is like, and it kind of leaned into that like a little bit, I feel.
I used to get so scared about aliens that when I was at school, I read a book, like I got out from the library, and it was talking about alien life is so advanced we wouldn't even know. I literally ran home because I thought an alien was coming after me as like a small young boy in England.
Oh, me and my friends saw a UFO once.
Wow.
Do you remember in our hometown?
Yes.
A long time ago, there was that big hailstorm. There were like hailstones the size of like tennis balls.
Massive, yeah.
I was staying over at my friend's house.
Yeah.
And we went outside to witness. We went outside
to take a look,
to take a look, to like put some in the freezer so we could look at them like the next morning. And we were just like filming the sky, and my friend was like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And it was like one of those really old like video phones, but there was like this little thing of light, this little ball of light, and it kind of like zigzagged and then stopped and then like zigzagged again and then disappeared. And there's like no explanation for what it could be.
God.
And the way it moved, like it wasn't like a satellite or anything. It was something.
Yeah.
So
that's freaky.
Yeah.
So
and we'd be watching horror movies all night.
So it just made it perfect. So one of my friends in Japan, he said something like that. He said he saw like loads of crazy lights outside one night, and then against his window, which is on like the 3rd floor, it was like what he described as like one of those footballs that, you know, you get really cheap ones that are like made of plastic, you kick them, they go miles. It was like something like that had been like smushed in, but it had a face on it. And I was like, oh, that's just so disturbing.
What, against the window?
Yeah,
or?
and like that Wilson thing. Yeah, exactly like that. Just like, and it was like you know, like when you lean your head against or touch your hand on something, you can get the condensation or residual grease or whatever's on your face or hands. And then it was like that left over in the morning.
Just like,
that just whenever he told me that, it freaked me out.
So I was just seeing.
You watching some chat? We got some chat. Queef Sweat, my man. Regular comment. Thank you.
I was going to say, like, do you remember all the movie, like, because you mentioned planes to Japan? Do you remember all the movies you've seen whilst on a plane?
Sometimes.
Because I remember 2. One was Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Because it was like out around that time. The second one was Shaun the Sheep. But it's because I was sat next to an Austrian man.
Yeah.
And he ordered like red wine, and it was free. So I was like, I'll have some red wine. So the two of us, me and this Austrian businessman, were just watching Shaun the Sheep together.
Just having a great time.
And like, because he didn't know much English, so he kept like laughing and then responding to Shaun the Sheep in German. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know what you're saying, but yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a really annoying guy on a plane when I went to Japan for, I can't remember which time I went, but this guy was like, he left all his stuff in the aisle, and the people kept saying, stop leaving your stuff in the aisle, it's emergencies, we need the aisle. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And he kept doing it, and then he was saying, can I have some wine? Can I have some more wine? Can I have a bit more wine, please? Can I have some more wine? He ate his dinner, and then he buzzed the thing again. I was sat like in the aisle next to him, so there's the walkway between us, and then he's on the other one. And then he goes, I've had my dinner, can I have somebody else's dinner? And the people on the flight were like, the flight attendants, they're like, yeah, there's some passengers who are asleep who might want to have their dinner later. No, it's fine, I'll have that. So you selfish. They didn't give it to him, I was glad.
Yeah.
And he was really annoying. But yeah. I don't know where we went off to then.
I was just saying, like, Fracus
some...
Maximus is saying original Salem's look great.
Yes.
Such Nosferatu style vampires, much scarier than Anne Rice style vampires. Now, Anne Rice style vampires are romance vampires.
Is that the Twilight though?
No. Oh. No, we didn't talk about Twilight. Yeah. No, Anne Rice's like Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, sorry. Part of my ignorance.
Yeah. Charlie knows her vampires, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That is why you guys are here, because you guys got the knowledge.
Yeah.
Salem's Lad.
Yeah.
And then we've got Yeah, they're much scarier than the hot guy look. Yeah. Hey, Green Bee, doing any drawings and stuff? I can't remember. I feel bad. Yes, Lena.
Yeah, menacing. Not why not both?
Yeah.
Nosferatu in fishnets.
Yeah, we cannot wait for Nosferatu. I think it's out
Yes.
Christmas Day
That's
in
Christmas
America.
Day. Yeah, in America.
But here it's January, early January. So
What an interesting time to bring it out, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert
Nosferatu.
Eggers super fans. Like maybe he'll have it like start at Christmas time. That'd be cool.
That would be great. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That would be
Eggers.
amazing.
He said in an interview that like he feels like he made so many mistakes with The Witch because
Really?
only in the sense that he felt like his vision didn't come through because of his lack of experience, and he feels like Nosferatu will be like his masterpiece almost.
Ooh, magnum
So
opus. Yeah.
I'm like foaming at the mouth for Nosferatu.
like I think everything he's done is great. Like you could tell The Witch was his first, right? And then The Lighthouse.
Or was Lighthouse
Was it?
first?
Oh, was it
I think Lighthouse
was
comes.
Oh, I'm
next.
sorry, but
Lighthouse
still
comes
like
second, I think, because he got Defoe on board.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got a debut.
still
with
like
Defoe.
they're all worth watching. Like
Yeah,
they're
they're
all
brilliant, yeah.
really good. So
Speaking of vampires, Matey was in that. He was from Twilight, wasn't
Robert Pattinson.
he?
Yeah.
He really picked up after
Robert
that, didn't he?
Pattinson, he like hates Twilight.
He's a
like,
good
he's
actor,
like,
man.
I
He's
made
good.
my money and that's all I care
Shadow.
about. Bye. And now he's been in like loads
He's
of
good- he's a good actor, I
independent films. He's a
Yeah.
great actor.
Him
he's
and
brilliant.
sorry, I forgot the Harry Potter's name.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, the two of them, they're doing crazy cool
He
films
did,
now.
he did a horror film, didn't he? Woman in Black? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've seen
I
the
like that.
stage show of.
Yeah, me too.
It was
scary,
so
isn't it?
good.
Yeah, it's good.
So good. If you ever get a chance to watch The Woman in Black, there are
It's a good
3
stage show.
actors in the entire play, and it's all done with like backlit screens and stuff. It's
It's very
I
good.
want to
a
see that.
theatrical masterpiece.
That sounds cool.
And Green Bee, there are quite a lot of differences between the Interview with the Vampire book and film. But if you liked the film, I would recommend reading the books.
Cool.
Especially like the first 3, so Interview with the Vampire, Lestat, and Queen of the Damned. I would definitely recommend reading those 3 at least.
That's another example of something I'd never seen, and we watched it recently.
Yeah.
Like Charlie showed it to me, and I was just like,
You're
"No
like-
wonder people love this!" Like,
Yeah.
You were
I've
like,
missed.
it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's so much I've missed out on, annoyingly, or like I
Yeah.
watch a film once and then forget all about
I
it,
feel
and
like-
Charlie shows it to me again, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like,
I feel like those like the kind of films that maybe both you and I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that same. We had that same sort of area of films. I
Yeah,
feel like when we were
definitely.
that age.
and you
for
said
sure.
there's like 28 Interview with a Vampire books.
There's
like,
there's
There's
loads.
loads.
like, and I'm like, what? And that's just one of them? Like, that's crazy. Why don't they just make more? Like,
Oh man.
yeah.
I mean,
Get Tom Cruise back. He doesn't age.
some of
Yeah.
the-
He
some
just
of
seems
the
to be doing
stuff,
stunts forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think some of the stuff in like the other books is a little bit. Yeah, it's not. It's a bit that. Yeah, you wouldn't want it to be.
Estelle, come back.
But yeah.
Oh, Green Bee's still drawing. Love it. Like to see that. If you send it over. I will go on to my
Yes.
next one now, which we are going to werewolf sort of category.
Oh yeah.
Ow! So it's a film from 2014 called Late Phases. Another one I've never seen, but what I understand about it is they've got a werewolf problem, and they call in a guy. It's always some kind of sheriff guy.
See, I'm not a werewolf movie guy except for Dog Soldiers.
I'm not.
Like,
See, this is. See, Dog. I'm glad you said that. Dog Soldiers is an absolute gateway for me to join.
It's so
I
good.
want to see more stuff like that.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm looking for it.
Because to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
when like if you ask me werewolf movie, it automatically respond with Dog Soldiers. That's all I
the
know.
best werewolf film.
And we saw was it Night of the Werewolf, the Marvel.
Oh, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, like that.
I've not seen that one.
That I was just like,
That was fun.
I was like, yeah, werewolf, I guess. That's alright, but it didn't feel like a
I
werewolf
showed
movie.
you.
you know?
I showed you Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps, I love. I really
Oh
like.
Iconic.
yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think like Ginger
American
Snaps,
Werewolf
The
in
Howling.
London.
American Werewolf in London is
Again,
one of my
banger.
favorites.
Seen it once, but goldfish memory. So
Still one of the best
Yeah.
werewolf transformations, hands down.
The best.
Like, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, special place in my heart for dog soldiers. So I'm trying to find something that matches that. So I went with something a little bit more modern with late phases, and I've seen it mentioned on a few sort of like lists online, like it's a good modern werewolf film, or it's a good recent one. So yeah, new territory for me, but oh god, if it's a tiny bit like dog soldiers, I'll be loving it.
I was gonna say, do you think they'd ever remake the Wolfman movies from the Hammer 50s,
Well,
60s?
Let me tell you, if they do, Robert Eggers is ready.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like,
Didn't they do it actually? Didn't they
No.
do it? They did it in about 2008, I think. Wolfman.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
Do you know what?
But it wasn't a slam dunk.
There's
It
a
wasn't
werewolf movie no one else that I've talked to has watched, and it's Jack Nicholson, Wolf. So it's Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, and like
He's
it's
a
so
werewolf.
good. It's just like when he's like losing it a bit, and he's in the bathroom with the other guy, and he just like turns and he's weeing on the other guy's shoes. The other guy's like slighted him, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm marking my territory."
I'm marking
Yeah,
my territory.
I just need more werewolf movies in my life. Like, again, dog soldiers and what you just brought up is all I've seen. So.
Why haven't they remade Dog Soldiers with this same director? You know, it was Neil Marshall, the guy who did The
Or do,
Descent.
Yeah.
So
Or more,
he could-
more Descent.
I
Give
think
him
because
that
it was
again.
British, like
Yeah.
that's why like it's so good.
It could be British again, I think.
They should do a sequel.
Yeah,
I
think
feel
so.
like not a remake, but I think a sequel would work really well.
Like, they
Although
obviously
one of them gets they didn't kill the last one, and then that one somehow makes more werewolves in a different area, this remote Scotland place they're training in, and they're like, right, we have to go back and sort them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could work.
I remember Ocean's 9, is it? The all-female cast one?
I don't
No,
know.
I hadn't seen that.
And everyone was just like, oh, it's like the first all-female cast movie ever. And I'm like, The Descent?
Yeah.
Hello? like,
Apart from the
Have you
bloke who
seen-
dies after about 5 seconds.
yeah, I was just like, the Descent
Female
exists,
leads,
right?
yeah,
You know The
yeah.
Descent, like, that's an amazing movie. Like,
Well, it's
that's
tons. I guess The Craft would be another one.
Yeah, The Craft is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tons.
The original, like the sequel, was trash. We
No,
don't
I didn't
talk
catch
about
that one,
it.
actually.
Don't. Just don't.
They could remake it,
Mean-
can't they?
Mean
Right?
Girls.
It's been long enough, right? They could remake that. we don't talk about it.
Oh, we got some more werewolf recommendations here.
Love
Hey.
it. Howling, yeah, The Howling.
Silver
I love The
Bullet.
Howling.
Is a classic.
Love The Howling.
Silver Bullet?
Silver Bullet, I haven't seen, but that's a
Never
Stephen
heard of
King.
it. Oh.
Stephen King novel. It's
No.
one of his shortest ones.
He must write really fast then.
He's
He
a
churns out like
psychopath.
over 100
Yes,
books a
yeah,
year.
I wish he wrote Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like George R. R. Martin brought that up. Like, how do you write so fast?
I saw a meme that Brandon Sanderson and Stephen King have been siphoning like writing energy from George Martin and like a couple of other authors, and that's why they're so slow. But Stephen King and Brandon are like churning out like book after book after book.
Oh,
And I need to
classic.
read Brandon Sanderson books. Like, yeah, I'm stuck on Lord of the Rings. As soon as I finish that, then I can move
It's
on to
all
another
open.
book.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to read more, but I spend most of my time reading the Japanese stories I end up translating. I ain't got no energy left for reading sometimes. But that's an excuse. We don't have excuses. Silver Bullet Howling movies was great. Jack Nickelodeon film was great.
Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. Imagine.
The art is cute. Thank you very much. Warrior. And then if you were a kid watching them, as I was, they were terrifying. I bet they were. Howling. Okay, yes. Can't beat American Werewolf in London. Yeah,
it
love
is
that
the
one.
Best.
Absolutely, Claire. With you there.
Because I'm assuming Wolfman is more about he's trying to hide his wolf identity, right? Like, kind of
Yeah.
like early Hulk, I guess, if you want to compare it to Marvel. You know,
Probably
like,
they got some
like,
inspiration
as-
from there.
yeah.
If you,
So
yeah.
you know, like that's what I imagine Wolfman is like. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I want to just see something like that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that would work. That would
Yeah.
work really well. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be a slam dunk wolf film coming out soon. That would be great.
Yeah.
Reignite people.
Even if they did a Dog Soldiers 2 and it was similar to the first one, just
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like maybe they could have it as the original like werewolf clan, like family, were a branch off of a bigger clan, because there was that cannibal clan in Scotland.
Sawney Bean.
Yeah. So maybe like they could go on that angle. Like
That would be
they were
great, actually. They goes into a
werewolves,
cave
and then the family in the first film were like a offshoot of that.
Hang on, are we making a movie? I feel like we are. Oh yeah, I gotta say, hey Elkie. I think Elkie's been watching me since I had about 2 subscribers, so I have to say hello before she goes to bed. Thank you.
Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for dropping by. Now we've gone to the next one, which is called Last Shift, also from 2014.
2014 was a good year.
It's a banger. Well, let's find out, because I haven't seen that late phase. This is the werewolf one. I ain't seen this one either. So this one is I think it got remade actually as Night Shift or something later. It's about a guy who's imprisoned, who's a bit of a Charles Manson kind of fella.
Okay.
And he's like a cult leader. Yeah, we're all in favour of that. And then this guy gets locked up, and it's on somebody's last shift, and all hell goes to loose. So it looks like a kind of satanic panic kind of film, or a Night Shift kind of film is always welcome. Can't think of anything worse than when something's
Got
like
that Jack Nicholson stare.
Yeah.
Like shining stare.
Yeah. I think it could be a bit of a winner. So again, one I haven't seen before. If anybody's seen Last Shift, let me know. But yeah. Oh, I live in London, and where there's a tube late at night, I still have to check for werewolves. Yeah, I'm with you there. Or if you ever seen Creep from in London, there's some kind of creature that lives in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Watch out for that one, Claire, with a K.
Yeah, and look out for the other creep where there isn't a werewolf, but there is a wolf mask.
Yeah.
That you should also be aware of.
Have you seen them?
Peach fuzz.
Fuzzy Peach, yeah.
Peach
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah,
The
they're
second
going to make
one's
more.
really
They're
good.
going to make more.
Yeah, I want more, dude.
It's called like the tapes or something.
Yeah.
The tapes are there.
I don't stand him, but I want more, man.
Yeah.
So
He's out of order, but we'll watch some more.
Yeah.
Oh, Claire's seen it. Nice.
Nice one, Claire. Watch out for him. Lead actress was solid in Last Shift. Oh, cool. Thanks, Fracas. Yeah, I need to watch it. I want to know what it's like. I hope it's decent. But this next one, like I said before, I went from the 1940s to 2024. So we're spanning the whole albatross of horror films, if that makes any sense. The next one is from 1961. It's called The Innocents. Now, it's the original, if anybody's heard of the story Turn of the Screw.
Yeah,
by
the turning of the screw.
yeah.
I've read it.
Yeah. This is it, basically.
See, aren't you glad she's here for the
Yes.
podcast? Because I don't know anything.
You're both vital. Trust me.
Yes.
And this one is sort of like the perfect kind of gothic haunted house film. And yeah, I love it. I've got such a soft spot for black and white ghost films.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's like, cheesy or anything. I just love the way they do it with subtle music, shadows and all. They play with that. I really like spooky old films.
Speaking of which, King showed me that Alfred Hitchcock movie, where the guy breaks his leg and he can't leave his apartment and he's watching
Rear Window.
Yeah, and he showed that to me, and then I was just like, why don't I watch more of these movies?
It's fantastic, yeah.
Because obviously, like, watching the trailers, I'm going to be like, oh, the movie's going to be cheesy, isn't it? Like, nah, not worth it. But then, no, I have to actually watch it. And I was tempted to get a box set of, like, all...
I've got it. I've got all that.
Oh.
I'll loan you some of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
give
we loaned you the Northman by Robert Eggers, so yeah.
I will loan you that.
Yes.
I'll bring it back up, yeah.
I think what's fascinating as well about black and white films
Henry
is
James,
like,
thank you, Claire.
all of like the tricks they had to use to make it look the way it did. Like things would be like they'd have to, for example, paint something bright purple just to make it the right shade
to
so
hide
that
it,
you can see, like, you got the contrast and
so
stuff.
much effort. You think of the children and stuff who appear in these films. How many takes did they have to do?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't no like Protection of Writers Guild back then. It was like, you will get up and you will do it again.
Or else you're back to the factory with you.
But yeah, the Turning of the Screw, like, it's definitely worth a read.
Yeah.
Classic ghost story.
Absolutely.
And they've done, again, the same people that did Haunting of Hill House, they did an adaptation of it called The Haunting of Bly Manor. It wasn't my favourite, it's probably my least favourite one that they did.
Yeah.
But like again, like there have been a lot of retellings of that story because it's such a classic.
It's great, yeah. And I'm a big sucker for a haunted house, big gothic manor.
Yeah,
what's
a
going on?
gothic ghost story
and then
is
suddenly you get freaked out by something. That's kind of like something you might be interested in pursuing on YouTube as well, isn't it? Telling stories of that sort of era.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I recently, talking of like sort of Victorian ghost stories, I recently showed Raz Crimson Peak.
Oh yeah.
That is
that's
like
cool, yeah.
a modern sort of version of the classic gothic horror, like ghost story, Victorian ghost story.
Sorry, which one was that?
Crimson Peak, the one with Tom Hiddleston with the big.
Oh yes,
the
yes.
one with the
Sorry.
big sleeves.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, again, she's like just showing me all this cool stuff that I've never like. There's like 100 billion movies out there that everyone praises, and I'm like, I missed out. I haven't seen any of them. And as she's showing them to me, and I'm like, I understand now why people praise these movies. Like, yeah. So.
But yeah, if I could just mention again something like Hitchcock, that he has so many fantastic films.
Yeah, I feel like I've wasted.
I think one of the like you said earlier, if you watch a trailer, you might not be like that intrigued by it. I think the perfect example of that is if you watch the trailer for The Birds.
Yes.
Because you think the birds, there's a bunch of birds flying around. What the hell's that?
It's terrifying.
Watch it, it's really good. And that
the
story.
lead actress was like traumatized.
Yeah, she's getting
he traumatized so many of his actors.
He was horrible.
He was
But the original.
That's the job done, though. You know.
Have you ever checked out the original story? It's a very short story by Daphne du Maurier, who wrote Rebecca and Jamaica Inn and stuff like that. That story is even more chilling because it ends. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but it's sort of like there is no way out. Like you are stuck. You can't go outside. These things will kill you.
I love.
You've got to wait out the storm, and it ain't going to end anytime soon. It was a brilliant story. I really like Daphne.
Is there a way to read that online, or?
Yeah, you'd find that online. It's past copyright now. If you just search "The Birds" by Daphne du Maurier, you get it easy, and it's about 50 pages. It's good to on your phone, easy.
Nice.
Yeah, really good.
There you go, something for you to read. Yeah.
But yeah, like black and white movies, silent movies as well. Like I remember, like the first Dracula movie I watched was the silent one, black and white, silent one.
Yeah.
All the text that comes up on screen. Yeah, I loved it.
I don't think I've ever seen any silent
Nosferatu
movie.
Yeah.
Nosferatu is great.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they would ever make a silent movie now? Like, they would have to cast all these modern-day actors just to get people to watch it, right?
Could work as a gimmick, I suppose, but
obviously there'd be music in the background, I assume.
But
like,
you'd have to
like
expect the audience to go to the cinema and sit for a silent film.
Fun fact,
that's the hurdle. Yeah.
Fun fact, like Hitchcock, if he didn't like, there was an actress, I can't remember who it was, he hated her voice, so he dubbed over her lines with a different actress.
Oh, he's such a nice guy.
With a man's voice.
Hello, what's going on here?
Bonny day.
But then
You're a
silent
handsome
movies
man.
do have music. Like, if it was a special screening or something, I would definitely go. Or like, you know, they have the open-air cinemas, that would be like, you have a picnic at midnight in a graveyard and you watch Lost Boys or something.
They do something cool in Japan, which is like the old-time screenings. One of the best ones I've seen is from 1920. It's like it's called A Page of Madness, and what they used to have was a benshi, which was called their version of narrator. So they'd show you, like as you said, the silent part of the film, all the scenes happening, and then a guy would pop up, and he would just tell you what's going on. And they do that
That's cool.
They do it in modern day Japan. When they do some of the screenings, they'll get that there's a benshi for this, there's a narrator for this. So he'd come on and goes, "Okina torina dekimasu yo." He'd say all something like that. Even though what I said just made no sense. It was the first couple of words that popped in my mind. It seemed so fun. When I was at uni, we watched a couple of films like that, and I thought, wow, this is like a lost media.
That sounds like a really cool, like,
it's
way
fun.
to do
It's
it.
another. It's sort of like adding like part of the stage show to a movie.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say it gives me like theatre vibes where the narrator comes on and like very Shakespearean in a way.
Yeah,
like
exactly
if you want to
that.
compare it to something like the Western world, like they'll be like, you know, in Fair Verona where we set our scene, and then
exactly that. Yeah. Where are we now on the old list? Oh yeah, we're going to the 25th of Rocktober, where I'll be going to my local cinema because they have a screening of Nightmare on Elm Street. You guys heard of that one? It's a bit of a niche film.
With Kevin Bacon. He's in.
Kevin Bacon. No, that's Friday 13th, I think. This one's got Johnny Depp
Yeah, John.
with the mega hunt.
Sorry to change the subject, but I was shown a Castlevania trailer today, and I'm not sure if it's sorry, Castlevania, and I'm not sure if it's real. It's got Johnny Depp in it, but I'm not sure if it's real.
Really?
Because it might be a fan-made one, or because when it shows him, it kind of weirdly looks like AI.
Oh.
So as if like someone typed in Johnny Depp wearing.
Trevor Belmont's outfit, or like, did he have a whip?
No. It was more of I can't describe it, but it just not exactly like Van Helsing kind of looking, but yeah,
it probably
Pilgrim looking, but
Trevor Belmont.
But yeah, I was like, is this real? I don't know. But so I was just showing it today, like before you came over. So I was like, is it like Johnny Depp? Is he actually doing movies anymore?
He might come back. He's had a couple of mega pints from now and then, and
yeah. But sorry to I just want to bring it up in case anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about and has seen it as well.
Do you guys know what he's talking about? Much like earlier when I asked
you, is Johnny Depp AI or is he Johnny Depp?
Is he real?
Is he Depp or not Depp?
But this famously was his debut.
Oh.
Yeah. And there he is right there.
Look how young he is.
You guys can't see it, sorry.
Baby face Depp.
But you remember Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm sure, guys. But
of course.
They're going to put it on in the cinema, and I just can't miss the opportunity. I just can't. It's a good one. I think Freddy Krueger is one of the weirdest and most imaginative, like,
he's great.
evil
like,
people
one
out
of the
there.
Best.
Yeah, and it was based on a certain bunch of people in Indonesia, I think, who was dying in their sleep.
Yeah, so
What?
basically they were uprooted and they came over to America and they were all split up. And because they weren't allowed to practice their indigenous rituals and things, it was in their culture that there was like a demon. I'm not sure what their term for it was, but it was like a demon, basically a sleep demon that would come.
Wow.
It's like some mad thing. It's like based on a true thing.
But like, even though they were like dotted all over, it was happening. I think it was mainly young men that it was happening to. But yeah, it was like they were displaced because of the war, and
I remember the remake with the guy that played Rorschach on Watchmen. He was Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, like the CGI.
Yeah,
right.
I remember that one. So, I'm sorry, guys. I remember the remake more than the originals. I'm sorry.
I like the original is just iconic, and Robert Englund.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I've met Robert Englund at a Comic-Con, and he is one of the nicest people and one of the best storytellers that I've met.
Oh man, I'd like to meet him.
Famous people wise.
I think I shout out Michael Douglas. He's not even in.
Shout out Michael
He
Douglas.
was on the screen. But yeah, Robert Englund, absolute legend. He's so like fun and interactive. Like, people getting photos taken with him. There's a guy dressed as Wolverine, and he had his glove. He didn't have the makeup, he had his glove, and he was like, "Oh, let's have a fight," and stuff like that. And
do that laugh. He does.
Yeah,
I love that.
and he did like a talk afterwards, and he was telling a story about how he fell out of the back of a van, and I can't remember who the other actor was. Like, flew him out to see his cosmetic surgeon to like fix it. And he's such a good storyteller, and he's such just like an enthusiastic guy, and he loves the fans.
Nice.
And like 10 out of 10. If you ever get a chance to meet him at a convention, like he's one of the my favorite people I've ever met. So.
That's sweet. Yeah, but Nightmare on Elm Street is an absolute banger. So welcome every year on my list.
Yeah. How many of them are there?
I think there's like literally.
Is there one in space as well?
There's at least 8. There's at least 8.
Yeah, and then if you're going to include the new one, could be up to 9, I think. There's a lot of them.
Because basically, you could just add the Saw franchise to classic horror, like, because they just keep milking them, you know. So.
Oh, someone's jumping out. Hey, Vina, thank you so much for checking in, and thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
And joining in the chat. Appreciate you.
Because Saw has like 12 films to its name, if I remember
Saw's
correctly. So
I think Halloween is about 11.
Yeah,
Or
it's crazy.
coming up to 12 or something.
There's the souls on top. Yeah.
I don't know about Friday 13th. There's quite a few there.
Aw.
Yeah.
In space. We got to Saw in space. Jigsaw in space.
Yeah.
All right. And then we've
Jason.
got...
Gotta do it.
We've got to do it. Leprechaun made it to space.
Yeah.
And Jason
And
made
Jason,
it to
yeah,
space.
yeah.
Jason
Why,
X.
why are we taking more people to space?
And
Elon
an
Musk.
alien.
Alien made it
Terminator.
to space, based from there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, the next one is Cat People.
Which I have heard of and I've wanted to watch for
This
a long
is-
time.
Yeah,
It's,
this is
it's
a
quite iconic.
weird one. This is a very weird one because it's from 1942, and it's responsible for the first ever jump scare.
What?
Yes, apparently.
Not The Fly?
This 1942.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Fly's 1950s. My
Yeah,
bad.
but the I watched this when I was young because it is I think a PG or something. I think it was on like daytime TV. And it
Well,
really,
you could get away with more stuff and
Yeah,
slap
yeah.
a PG rating on it.
exactly, probably wouldn't be on daytime TV these days, but it really freaked me out.
Yeah.
And I thought I've never wanted to revisit it, but I thought, you know, one of those sort of like lazy Sunday afternoons where you don't really need to focus too heavily on a film or something. This is the kind of thing you want, like a nice little chill out kind of, you know, I'm doing my thing and doing. You don't really need to expect so many scares, and I think if you put a couple of these in, then when you get the scares later, you appreciate it a bit more. So yeah, I think the story about this one is she comes from a country that they don't name.
Serbia.
Oh, Serbia. Okay, I know that before, but
I only know
no, I'm joking.
because it's.
Oh, it's right there. So she comes from the
IMDb
Serbias,
just told us.
Hey.
and she cannot like get it on with a fella because she'll turn into a cat. So that is like that's got my vote. So how do they make that scary? Well, it used to scare me when I was a kid. I think that's a really
So you
disturbing.
stayed away from all women. That's a
Yeah,
And
And
cats.
yeah. What does this say about me? I'm a bit concerned now. No, but I just remember there was a point in the film where there's like this giant cat just sort of like lurking around, and it's like really disturbing, like a panther or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like it, and it's one of those films where the lighting and the angles and all that make all the difference. But anyway, on the 27th, I'm not watching a film. I'm just going to watch loads of Simpsons Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
'Cause I have so much time for Simpsons on Halloween. And I'm also going to watch Cradle of Filth in Bristol that night, so it'll be really fun.
Man. Oh yeah, I saw that Cradle of Filth were playing.
Yeah, I love them.
I was listening to Lovecraft and Witch Hearts at
Oh,
work.
the album, yeah. That's a cool album.
And like, if I ever get to put on music, I'm like, I'm gonna put on my scary rah-rah music now.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay, Charlie.
Well, I don't think
Cradle of Filth is.
I don't think they're going to sell out Bristol, so plenty of opportunities to go. I'm going by myself. It's going to be a blast. I
only
don't
know
care.
like 2 songs, maybe 3 from Cradle
Yeah.
of Filth.
That was my favorite band when I was younger. So I don't know how many more chances I'm going to get to see them before they all call it a day. So I think, well, I might as well do it now.
Yeah.
But before that, I will get drunk and I will watch Simpsons episodes in my hotel room. And maybe work on some stories to put online as well.
Those Simpsons Halloween episodes are so good though.
They are
Like,
so funny.
all of the references.
Yeah. Do you have? I might be putting you on the spot, but do you have a favourite kind of one? I like the one where Homer goes to buy Bart a toy for his birthday, and he buys him like a
The crusty doll.
evil
Yeah, the
crusty
evil
doll.
crusty doll. That's so
And he goes,
good.
"Ah, here's your problem. Somebody set this thing to evil."
And the toaster one that takes into different
yeah,
dimensions.
yeah,
I really appreciate the one where they reference the island of Dr. Moreau.
yeah.
Because
that's
like
a good one.
I feel like I'm one of the only people that's actually watched that
And it's
movie.
Dr. Hibbert, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, I love that you've referenced that movie because
Yeah.
like every time I'm like, oh, have you seen Island of Dr. Moreau? They're like, what's
I
that?
remember that when I was younger.
It's so good.
It's a
Do they
mad
still
film.
make Halloween episodes?
I think so.
Because I pretty much stopped watching The Simpsons now, so...
I haven't watched any of the new
no, I know.
stuff.
It's a shame, isn't it?
But the weird thing is, and again, this is going to sound weird, like, I love old Simpsons, I love it. And when I watch new Simpsons now, I'm like, oh, that's cringe. But then, rewatching them again, I'm like, damn, I think I make that those kind of jokes. I think that's my humor I'm seeing before my eyes, and I don't like it.
You were the villain all along.
Yeah.
You
Flanders
long
is-
enough to become the villain.
Flanders is such a good
Yeah,
character.
I think in one of the Halloween...
Devil Flanders.
Yeah, on one of the best episodes is where like, you killed werewolf Flanders. He was a werewolf?
He was a zombie. Yeah.
Oh, he was a zombie.
Yeah.
And
And the-
groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah, when he's not on Elm Street, isn't he?
Raise
Yeah.
me up.
yeah. And I think there's a ghoul on the bus.
Yeah,
Takes
exactly.
off.
Yeah.
That one used to stress me out when I was a kid.
And
That was really
Bart's like,
good.
oh, so there's a gremlin on the side of the
Gremlin on the
bus,
side
and
of
it's
the
like
bus.
Mole Man driving alongside. It's like, do it, but you don't get him.
Yeah, he blasts. him
Hans
off the
Mole
road.
Man.
Oh no. Oh dear.
I only had one payment left.
One for the ladies, Revolution Beauty, which is like a makeup and like beauty brand. They did a Simpsons Halloween special makeup collection, and I got like I've got like a Devil Flanders lipstick, and I've got like a eyeshadow palette, and it's like one of the best ones.
Help yourself to Halloween snacks, by the way.
Okay, we've got a cauldron full of goodies here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got,
Did they do the Homer going into the bushes with the green?
Well, no, they did, but yeah, and I've got like a little Mr. Burns makeup bag as well, which is from a different company. But, yeah.
And the dressing gown and the slippers. And,
Yeah, he's with the phone, and he's like,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Simpsons is so good.
Yeah, so that will be like take a break from the chills
It'll
for a
take
minute.
a year to complete all Halloween
Yeah,
episodes.
I will watch a select bunch. I think I'm not going to watch all of them. I love when they did the full Edgar Allan Poe
Yeah,
story of
Both
the
the Raven, eat my shorts.
Yeah,
And the shinning.
the shinning. Yeah.
You've got the shinning.
You want to get sued?
Look at these.
No beer and no TV, make Homer go something. Go crazy.
Like
Don't mind if I do.
The woman that voices Marge, I think her throat is legit damaged now for doing
Oh
Marge
my
Simpson's
God.
voice all these years.
I think she's been compensated.
It's probably her real
monetary
voice now.
wise.
It's probably morphed into her real voice.
Yeah.
Hey, homie.
It's hard to do, isn't it? That could be a horror film in itself.
For anyone that's just joined us, we're now a
Yeah.
Simpsons
We're just
channel.
fangirling The Simpsons right now. So next, my favourite director is John Carpenter. Yeah, and we're going with The Mouth of Madness, starring Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. Yes.
We love Sam Neill, horror icon.
And this one's very Lovecraftian. And sort of Stephen King-y as well.
If only Kings was here, he loves Lovecraft and stuff.
Oh, I bet he'd love this. It's essentially like the story of an author who goes missing, and Sam Neill's character is like a detective who gets paid to do PI work or whatever to try and find him. And this guy's been missing, and the covers of his books tell the story of where he might be. And then they go and find it, and all hell breaks loose in the Mouth of Madness. Yeah. So, like, it's John Carpenter at his best, I think. Very, very creepy. Very, like,
His best?
tense. Yeah,
Better
I mean...
than The Thing? Halloween?
Well, I think the things...
It's a different vibe.
Things the pinnacle. It's part of the End of the World sort of trilogy that he did with The Thing, Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness.
I want to watch it now.
It's really
Again,
good.
there's so many movies I need to watch and so many books I need to read, so
Yeah,
I have a lot
Fracas.
to catch up on.
Fracas, you're absolutely bang on. The scene with the cyclist is very memorable. It's like you go into a town. It's sort of like
It was the bike all along. The bike killed the dude.
I mean, there's the movie
it's a
about the
loop.
killer tires.
Yeah. Rubber. I've seen
yeah.
yeah. This one's better.
it. There's two tires on the bike.
No, they keep seeing this guy circling back round, and then they realize they're in a kind of loop, and the guy on the bike is actually, without giving much away, it's disturbing.
Okay.
But it's really good. They have like monsters.
I can't wait to be disturbed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Check that one out. It's really, really fun.
I love the fact it's not showing a trailer for us, so I'm
Yeah.
going to go in blind when I see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do. And then I think we're on to the next one, which is Mirrors.
I love mirrors.
Yeah,
I have actually not seen it, so you guys speak
A
to
movie
it as much
I've
as you
seen
want.
that you haven't?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. I've seen it a few times.
I can't believe I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Do you want the trailer running in the background
Yeah,
then?
sure.
Or, okay.
Yeah, I've watched the trailer.
For Sutherland.
I feel like it's one of
Yeah.
those films that, like, you know, it's just a good movie, and there is a twist in it, but I got the twist, like, it's not really a twist.
All right.
There's like a little thing that could be a twist, but it's not really a twist. But
Is it scary, would you say?
There is a scene that freaked me out. I'm sorry. I think I spoke. Wait, I got something to say. Sorry, no, there is a scene that freaked me out. I'm not going to say where it takes place because that might ruin it. But yeah, sorry.
You got a mad. Oh, I was going to say this is the day after I come back from Cradle of Filth hungover, but it's not. So yeah.
I think you'll be fine watching
Yeah.
it hungover. Like, honestly, it is a really good film. I really enjoyed it. It's been quite a long time since I watched it, but
Yeah, it seems
I
like good fun.
recommend.
That's all I was after, a bit of good fun.
From the
Yeah.
director of Hills of Eyes remake, I think.
Oh my god,
Yeah, so if
that
you
one
like the remake,
stressed me
then,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, that remake stressed me out, especially Hills Have Eyes one. What happened to the dad in it? I just was
See,
really
I
disturbed.
remember Kings showed me the original for the first time, and I had never seen the original.
It's
So I was like,
72,
oh, wait, so
yeah.
technically, is it horror or a revenge movie? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
like
So-
it's like gore. I would say it falls under horror.
Yeah, I just
Because
saw it
then
more.
You could say, like, what about Wrong Turn? Like, Wrong Turn is horror.
It reminded me more
What's
of Death Wish, as weird as it sounds, because
Yeah.
it's all about vengeance. So I wasn't expecting that. I just assumed it was like Texas Chainsaw, like horror stuff just happening, and
Yeah.
but not like vengeance. But
Yeah, no, it's really disturbing, I think.
Yeah.
Both of those films. Hills Have Eyes. I was thinking about adding it this time, but that stresses me out. Maybe next year I'll do
I
it.
watched Bone Tomahawk. Like,
Bone
very
Tomahawk is horrible as
recently.
well.
Yeah, we watched
It's
it.
So good.
Kurt Russell. Love
Yeah.
that guy so much.
I was like, hey, cowboy film. Oh no.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. If anyone hasn't watched it, watch it. It's
Bone
Yeah.
Tomahawk.
So disturbing, isn't it? Especially the bit in the cave. Yeah.
yeah.
See, I remember you like before I'd seen it.
I think it was on
like,
the list last year.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I
and
think it
you were,
was.
and this is before I'd seen it, and you were mentioning that scene,
Yeah.
infamous scene, you know what I'm talking about, like nudge, winking, wink to each other, and I'm like, all right, like, it's a cowboy film, how bad can it be? But now I've seen it, so now I know the infamous
Yeah.
scene.
It's surprising that Kurt Russell signed up for that, but I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Because if you ever seen his other cowboy film, Tombstone,
Yes, I have
No?
seen Tombstone.
absolutely love it. It's
Oh
got Val
man, I'm
Kilmer.
gonna watch that as
Very
well. Oh.
You'd love it. You'd honestly love
Is
it.
there
It's got-
another infamous scene I should be?
not horror at all.
Okay,
It's just
yeah.
like a really good like kind of action, I guess.
Yeah.
Action.
Yeah,
Revenge, like kind of small town in
Tombstone's
America.
great.
Such a good film.
I feel like I
We'll
need to
watch
watch
it.
some cowboy stuff.
That's
Even
the best one I've ever seen.
See, the thing
Yeah.
that got me into like westerns /
Yeah.
cowboy movies was Young Guns.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
But don't watch the second one because it's too sad.
Oh right, I haven't seen that one actually.
Yeah, it's just too sad. But yeah, that kind of got me into westerns, and like I watched like some of the older ones, like the Man with No Name kind of ones.
Oh,
and,
Fistful of Dollars and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then obviously, like the newer ones came out, and I was like, oh, a cowboy movie, and I was like, oh wait, this is a horror. I love this.
See, was it the Man with No Name we were talking about before with the infamous scene? That was probably normal at the time, but if you watch it now,
It's a little bit no.
is that the one? It was with Clint Eastwood, obviously.
There's there's quite a few that's
Okay,
bad
yeah, well,
stuff
I
happening, to be
can't remember
fair.
exactly which one it is. I think it's the Man with No Name or whatever. I'm not gonna say what happens, but basically, I'm going in like, oh, Clint Eastwood, cowboy movie, might as well. Like, I'm not familiar with every cowboy movie ever, but Clint Eastwood, he's been in a billion. I'll just watch it. And
Yeah.
watching it, I'm like, is this a PG age-rated film? Why is this happening in a PG age? Like, and I'm watching it thinking, oh, it's gonna be bang, dude does a somersault off a building, doing the Wilhelm scream, ah!
Oh yeah, the home screen.
But then I'm watching it and I'm like, kids were allowed to see this, like, and even I'm like,
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
This was
there's
normal back
westerns,
then?
and then there's spaghetti westerns.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm not going to describe what I saw, but I'm just like, how did they get away with this? Like,
I know,
they would never show this now.
Yeah.
It's mad. I'm sometimes shocked by some of the age ratings in Japan. Like, films that we deem absolutely at 18 is like, that's 15 or 12.
Yeah.
It's like, what? No, they literally
Because
tear people apart.
I
in
think
this.
the criteria, like in our country, for whether something becomes an 18 is if you see like nudity. If it has like nudity, like you can have like as much gore as you want to a point, but if there's nudity in it, then it becomes an 18.
Yes, no showing of
Like,
the...
No
That's it.
parts.
Like Lord of the
No
Rings,
parts,
I think
please.
2 Towers is a 12, I think, and you see like amputations,
Oh yeah,
like
it's wild, isn't
like
it?
during the Urukai Helm's Deep battle.
Yeah.
But still, that's a 12. But you see a leg being sliced off, or decapitation in
See,
Fellowship.
that's an interesting point, because like nowadays all the Game of Thrones were 18s. Do you reckon back then, if it started back then, maybe
Yeah.
it would have dropped down to a 15 at least?
Or PG.
Watch with the family.
Yeah. It's
But,
crazy.
Yeah.
But then we're probably I don't know what word to use. I don't want to say.
Desensitized.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so
Acclimated.
Climatized.
You know,
cultured.
the thing is, like,
Let's keep going.
Watership Down was like my
Oh, yeah.
favorite movie as a kid. So like,
Oh, what
horror
is wrong
not
with you?
gonna-
Is that your favourite?
Yeah, and Animals of Farthing Wood. Like,
Oh,
yeah, I
Watership
love
Down is
Watership
just so
Down.
disturbing.
It was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
No, it's-
That and the one shark documentary, David Attenborough shark documentary, that my poor grandpa had to watch every time I came over. So yeah, I was pretty like
See, I
not
was-
worried about.
I
blob
was
and stuff.
disturbed at the end of The Labyrinth when I was a child,
Yeah.
saying goodbye to all their friends. But when I saw Watership Down, when they started burying the rabbits
Yeah.
whilst they were living, I was like, that's a step beyond, pal.
But do you still feel that way now? Because obviously, when you're a kid, things hit you harder that you see.
Yeah.
So now watching it as an adult, do you still feel that way? Like, why did they show this? Like,
I feel like I'm more sensitive to
I
it
think
now,
it
like,
was a valuable lesson
Yeah.
for children to watch, and I think that having a pet when you're a child is very important because it teaches you about
Yeah.
loss, and loss is a horrible thing to learn about. But yeah, it's heavy though, isn't it? It's really heavy.
I loved it. Like, it was great. Like, there were like rabbits like tripping out, having visions. There was a nice
They're having a
song.
blast, weren't
There was like a comedy seagull. It was great.
Yeah, maybe you need to rewatch it because all I remember is the horror of it.
What other like? There was something else that was like probably like quite disturbing, but I really enjoyed as a kid. I can't remember what it was. Like,
Never ending story.
oh no, wait, it was we when we were kids, like we were staying like at a friend's house, like me and my brother, and like the friends of the family had like kids and stuff as well, and we put on the Dark Crystal, and they were all
Oh,
like
Dark
crying.
Crystal.
They were all like crying, and I was
Yeah.
like, the Skeksis were my favorite characters.
Oh, they're bad though.
Gelfling.
Yeah, they were naughty.
Yeah.
What, did you remember the second Wizard of Oz with the Wheelers?
Oh, Return to Oz.
Yeah,
I
that-
love Return to
Love
Oz.
that was weird. That one used to
Yeah.
freak me out when I was younger.
And again, just to bring up my mother, she can do an amazing impression of the Queen,
Really?
the Dorothy Gale one,
Oh.
with the one that has the multiple
Dorothy
heads.
Oh,
She
yeah,
does
yeah.
an amazing impression of that, and she did that to me whilst we were watching it. I was like,
My parents were evil when I was younger. I wanted to be adult when I was young. And I was like, I want to watch something scary. Show me something scary. And I was like, yeah, despite all the previous stuff I just said, I must have felt brave one night. And they were like, all right, if you want to watch something scary, watch this. And they were watching Child's Play
hey,
with Chucky.
you like toys, right? You like
Yeah.
dolls? Yeah, you love it.
This will make you be friends with the toys. And then when I went up to bed that night, they had the Chucky doll, and they put it in my
I love
bed.
that.
And that
Yeah.
just so wrong. They did the same thing after
Best thing ever.
after I watched Blair Witch Project, they all stood in the corner of the room
Right.
when I went to the toilet.
Speaking of toys, I remember an X-Files episode where there's a toy, a doll that would just be like, "I want to play," and then they would leave the doll in the room alone with someone, and that someone would die somehow.
Yeah.
And then I would scare my siblings by going, "I want to play." They're like, "Oh, shut up! Leave the light on."
Oh man, that reminds me of something. My sister had this little like camera in the garden. I might have said this before. I don't stop me if you've heard this one before by the Smiths. But like, my sister left this camera that she had in the garden because little kids play out in the garden and stuff, and they leave stuff behind. And my bedroom used to face the garden, and it had a button that if you depressed, as you click a button, it's like a deliberate effort, isn't it? It's not like it can go off by accident. In the garden one night about 4 a.m, I swear to God, I always sleep with my window open because I always get hot, and I heard this thing go, "Smile, smile, 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 smile," and even my mum woke up and she was like, "What's that?" It's like, "That thing in the garden.
Badgers
Smile,
taking
smile."
selfies.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's the best I could hope for, badgers taking selfies." But yeah, no, I was disturbed by that. Yeah. Anyway, I believe we're talking about movies.
What?
Childhood trauma.
And if you just heard that voice crack, that one's for you guys.
Smile.
I think we're talking about movies. Oh, hey.
Dad,
Oh, some people
Poltergeist.
have evil parents like mine. My parents let me watch Poltergeist when you were 8. Crikey. Gotta love being an 80s baby. Yep, 80s baby over here. Still hate clowns. Understandable. My parents are quite hilarious. Thank you, Fracas. Love Fracas. Righto, so we're nearly the end of my list. So on the 30th, one day before the old Halloween comes, I'm going to watch something I've never watched before called Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
I've heard of this,
It's such
but
a
not
mad
watched it.
title, isn't it? What a weird title.
Yeah,
Now,
but then there's I think there was a trend of films being named
Yeah.
like that. So there's All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, I think one
Oh,
of them
yeah,
was called.
I've seen
and,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
there was
That's
a
cool.
trend of.
This-
Obviously, this is an old school
Yeah.
one, but
this one's from the 70s, and I think the premise is that there's a woman who's released from a mental asylum, and she comes back to society, and the plot of it is, as the title suggests, let's scare Jessica to death. So they try and stress out this person to the point where she might expire. And yeah, it seems like an absolutely abhorrent thing to watch, so why not watch it at Halloween? I don't know much about this one. It appears frequently on lists of forgotten gems of the
Sounds like a prank goes wrong kind of movie.
It does, and, and an early kind of one, instead of someone with
before YouTube pranks were a thing.
yeah get pranked, bro.
Social experiments, quote unquote.
Oh man, I hate YouTube pranks so much.
it looks from the trailer, it is very 70s, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 70s exploitation flick vibes.
That's
and
right, and that's the thing of the list. 1940s to 2024. Got to get the 70s in there somehow. One I hadn't seen, so I thought, why not? Looks like your standard kind of insane asylum, spooky, haunting, madness kind of flick. So
And
let's give
the
it a go.
idea of torturing a mentally ill person
It's really
to death
mean, isn't
is
it?
Sounds fun.
Something we can all get behind.
I feel like sometimes you
Not
think
really,
about
not
the
really.
concept,
Yeah.
and sometimes the concept of the film is even more horrifying than
Yeah, exactly.
watching
Yeah.
the film itself.
I think the title alone just drew me in. Let's scare Jessica to death. I mean, what is that about? Let's watch that.
But it's almost with psychological horror type, Wicker Man and stuff.
Wicker Man, really
Yeah.
disturbing. Really disturbing.
Whether Nicolas Cage.
No,
No,
the
no.
original
Stop
one.
I'm sorry.
Stop
That's
bringing Nick Cage into this.
I'm talking about Nicolas Cage in Long Legs.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Because he was good in that, I think.
He was really good in that.
Yeah.
That wasn't his first serial killer role, was it?
Don't know. But he said he doesn't want to do any more of that now that he's done it once. But, I love that film, but his legs weren't even long.
I felt like an
They
idiot
weren't
because
very long.
the first time you see him in the film, I didn't think it was him. I thought it was someone else. And
He
even
looks
by his
so
voice, I
beat
couldn't
up,
tell it was
doesn't he?
him.
It looks
Yeah.
so weird.
But then when they came to the interview moment, that's when I was like, oh yeah, it is him. I'm dumb. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Very odd. Wicker Man was filmed in Chicago. Was it? I thought it was on the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
The one Nick Cage is in. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Elkie. I thought you left earlier ago.
Oh, your
Appreciate you.
hometown.
Hey,
Wicker Park. Nice.
that's very cool. I'd love to go to America. I always want to go there.
I really want to
too.
go
I want to go
to.
do a Halloween in America.
I
want to
see the Mothman statue and put a coin out in his butt.
We were saying, like, there should just be a Mothman movie or a documentary about...
Why is there not more Mothman?
Exactly, that's what I've been
Content
saying.
for us to
Yeah.
enjoy.
There's got to be a Mothman movie or at least, like, a documentary, like, of how the legend came to be kind
Found
of thing.
footage.
That's where you do it. Did you ever see that?
Mothman movie.
The dude who did Blair Witch Project, Eduardo Sanchez, I believe he did a Exists, which is a Bigfoot one. And I thought,
Ooh,
much like we
fun.
talked about like the birds earlier, like, oh, how the hell is bird scary? 960s, Hitchcock, whatever. Exists with Bigfoot in.
Hey.
That's really stressful, actually. It's like
Yeah,
people in a
it
cabin. There's
sounds
this
like it
huge
would be.
hulking beast trying to break in and kill you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds
that's a pretty good one.
Because, like, not being funny, like, primates are scary.
Yeah.
Like, I would not
Strong,
mess
aren't they?
with a chimp.
Like, King...
Like,
Oh my god, you heard the horror stories?
Chimps are the one animal that
They are
scares me.
ruthless.
Like, like, you know,
Baboon.
baboons.
How recent is this film? Because I'm wondering if it's one I've seen.
I believe it could be around the 2010s.
Because Kings did show me a Bigfoot film recently by...
Found footage?
Yes.
Probably exists.
The couple in a tent. Have you seen it? Did you say?
Yeah, I
or-
think it could be that. It could be that.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I just don't remember the name of
They
it.
end up taking refuge in a cabin. This is what I remember the most about that film. Like a wooden cabin.
I remember, like, a Wendigo type film where they
Oh,
take
man.
refuge in a cabin.
Do you know they're gonna? Do you know Until
wasn't-
Dawn?
Yeah, I love Until
I think they're making that
Dawn.
into a movie now.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I did see, like, a couple of my horror cosplayers that I follow were doing,
They're
like, a
ready
lot
for
of
that.
Until Dawn content because
That
of
is
it.
cool.
Well, I was gonna say I don't have Until Dawn, but I've got like is it Pictures of Medan or so? It's like the same style game.
Sort of thing.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
or like Detroit Becoming Human style
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
If you want to live stream them sometime. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
And we've got a Planet of the Apes one.
Yeah.
We need to play. Yeah.
Dr. Zeus, Dr.
Yeah.
Zeus.
But it's more of
Ooh,
those like
Dr. Zeus.
it's more of like it's a movie you're watching, but choices matter. You pick.
Oh,
you
I
know.
love that. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that,
yeah. So
yeah.
we got a Planet of the Apes one that we need to play.
So, if we were to do some streaming and playing some games and chatting and stuff, where would we do that?
Either online or here, you know.
Yeah, on your channel, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
So what's your channel called?
Razius TV.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We do. I've been on your channel before, haven't I? What did we play last time? Dead Space. That was awful.
Yes, yeah. Because
That was
Dead Space.
awful.
you know the first moments where there's a necromorph,
Necromorph.
Yeah.
like chasing you towards the elevator. I was like, go left, go left, and you were like, how do I left? Like, and I was like, how do you left? What?
I'm not a good gamer.
Speaking of Necro, I was recommended a book by my friend Stuart, and I think you might like it.
Ooh.
It's called Necroscope by Brian
Necroscope,
Lumley,
okay.
and it's Cold War espionage with vampires and
Ooh.
necromancers. Like, have you ever like read like the Day Watch, Night Watch books?
Yeah, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a similar vibe, but I feel like it would be right up your alley.
Definitely.
Necroscope. the
Necroscope,
first- That's what the
Necroscope.
first one is called.
Okay. If I don't remember, I have this stream to fall back
Yeah,
on.
or I can just message you.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I'm about halfway through it at the moment, and it is.
It's good?
So good.
Scary?
It's like the idea, like of I knew there were vampires in it, but I didn't know what form the vampire thing
Yeah.
would take, and like the idea of the vampires in it are just they're different, but they're very cool. Like,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I will be excited for you to read it if you do, because then
Yeah, I
I'll
need to
have
get back
someone
into
else
reading.
to talk to about it.
Yeah. Oh, it's just when I do the J Nightmares thing, I it takes a lot of my reading time. And I mean, when I find if I find 5 stories, I've had to read about 50 because some of them just don't make sense, or some of them are just like go, and then there was a guy, and then there was a ghost, and it's just like
Plus, you're
lame
translating
ending.
it as well.
And
So,
you have to, it takes time to do that. So you have to pick 5 that you want to do a good job at, and then you're just like, okay, you imagine sitting in front of the computer for that long, it does your head in, and the last thing you want to do before you go to bed is read. So I tend to go out and walk, but I'm trying to find ways to make this process quicker. I think there's certain things you can do, like I could be quicker with my grammar, I can look for certain points faster, so hopefully I'll gain back some lifetime back to enjoy some scary books.
I prefer to read before bed, but I'm reading for fun. You're reading for work, so it's different.
But it's still fun.
If you like to go for a walk to like wind down after it, or just have a break, you could always go audiobook.
Yeah, I do have Audible. I do like it a lot. I usually end up listening to that before going to sleep.
Yeah.
But I end up listening to comedy stuff usually. Alan Partridge.
I listen to serial killer documentaries to lull me to sleep.
Have you seen?
They're so relaxing.
Have you seen The Day Today?
I love The Day Today. Literally, Chris Morris is one of my favourite people ever.
Yeah.
Chris Morris is amazing. Even his films he's made, I love him.
You know, on What We Do in the Shadows, and they have like the TV station moment. It reminded me of The Day Today so much.
I just love the way they open the segment like, and here's the news today. Yes.
Alan Partridge.
I've
Hello,
got it
you.
on DVD somewhere. I'll have to dig it out.
DVD. Oh, that's the future.
I've got. Well, it was like when I was like, oh, I'll show you The Crow, and then I was like, oh, I only have it on VHS.
Oh wow! Keep hold of that. It might be worth something one day. Yeah. All right. Last Halloween film on the list is Tales of Halloween from 2015. I think it's 10 different directors who get together to make a bunch of shorts.
Oh, I enjoy this.
I was going to say,
and a bit of an omnibus.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this, and I see Darren Bousman directing.
Yeah.
I was just like, really? Like, so I want to see it now because he's directing it.
It's a good. I think it's
Repo Man
CX
and Saw 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah. There's a couple of big names in there.
Yeah, I do love an anthology movie.
And I think they're all intertwined as well, a bit like Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd watch that
Trick or
every
Treat.
year, Trick or Treat.
It's
So
so
I'm going to need
good.
something different. So
It's a feel-good movie.
exactly. this one will have to do. John Landis is in there as well, who I believe did. Didn't John Landis do Werewolf in London?
Yeah.
Or am I going to get in trouble? Or could you check that chat? John Landis, Werewolf in London. American Werewolf in Londonanium. American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, American Werewolf in London, Blues Brothers.
He did Blues Brothers?
Apparently.
I like Blues Brothers.
Twilight Zone, the movie. Animal House.
Man, that's got sad history.
Twilight Zone. I need to watch more of that.
He also did Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Well, the guy with the noises. I love it.
Yeah, I love a Halloween or spooky anthology like Creepshow.
You got to round it off at that time of year.
Yeah, definitely. And like ABCs of Death.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Did they do a second one of that? Or
I think so.
They either did or they're going to.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to do anything too serious on the actual day, just in case trick-or-treaters come up or whatever.
I swear I saw him come up. We like Sam Witwer. He voices Darth Maul in if there are any Star Wars fans. And he also voices Star Killer in the video game. I just thought I saw his name pop up. He advocates a lot for rehoming dogs.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So, sorry, who's your voice again?
Darth Maul.
Is that in the animated show?
Yeah,
or
in
okay.
Clone
I was
Wars.
thinking not Phantom
And
Menace.
he also
that's
plays him. Oh, actually, that's a spoiler. I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, he advocates a lot for adoption of dogs and stuff.
That's very sweet. If I can just give a little shout out to somebody I know who takes care of adopting dogs. It's fellow narrator, Miss Creepy Tales. She lives over in Thailand. She takes in as many dogs as she can
Oh, that's
from
amazing.
the street. Yeah, and I really, got to have a big heart for stuff like that, I think.
Definitely.
I do have some comments on my community post. I don't know if you can bring them up on there because my signal's not working too great.
Yeah, it's not great signal.
If you just go,
channel.
yeah.
I do
I
also
know.
have like a little question I'd like to put to both of
Oh,
you
yeah?
at the end.
If you go on that
but
post down the bottom, that one there,
This
and
one?
and then there should be comments, and then
yeah,
there you go.
we'll do
Whenever
these
you're ready, yeah.
first.
If
Oh.
there's any that's,
Do you want me to
could
read them out?
Yeah,
or-
because I can't see them from
Alright,
this.
I'm gonna have to move the mic my way.
Be scribe, please.
Amazing thumbnail, so atmospheric, it makes you want to be inside the warm glow of the houses looking out on the dark, rainy night, shipping hot chocolate and telling ghost stories. Heart.
Thank you very much.
That's from Karen Bernie.
Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very
And
much.
LK. This thumbnail is amazing. Pumpkin face. I hope I can make it. My time zone will never let me be on time. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night or listening at midnight. But unfortunately, in the last few weeks, I've been having health issues. Anyway, I listen after for sure. Thank you for your info, smiley face.
Keep on battling, LK. You're already good.
Next one's Kerry Silva. Oh no, have to work an evening/overnight shift. I look forward to watching the upload tomorrow morning.
Yes, thank you very much. You'll hear your name, I guess.
And at Elvira Sonya 1689. Please discuss Japanese horror. I really enjoyed Ringu, but there's so much J horror out there. We need recommendations.
Okay, you guys got any for that? I mean, for me, I guess Japanese horror. But there's a film called Kuru, which I really like, which it means like it comes. It's like
Oh, I've heard of that.
yeah, it's really Kuru. Kuru. Yeah, the idea is like when someone was young, they invited some kind of spirit in, and it comes after their child when they're older. And oh my god, the best thing about that film is they try and set up the ultimate like shaman defense force, where they have people from like all the different areas of Japan trying to protect like the spirit that's about to attack, and they all these different people doing their different religious practices, and they're like, yeah, we gotta stop them, and then they just get like destroyed by the spirits. So like malevolent, it's unbelievable. It's a really good fun watch.
Fun fact, Kuru is also an incurable disease that you get by eating human brains. It makes you rock uncontrollably, and it's like a neurological...
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that what the zombies got?
Yeah. But yeah, it's only been observed, I think, in Amazonian tribes who participate in ritual cannibalism.
My lord.
So, yeah.
That's
Fun fact!
a fun fact. It's fun how you know that.
Shall I read the next one?
Yeah, or do you have any... I mean, I'm a
I
big
feel
fan
like-
of Ringu. I like
Yeah.
Ju-on. I like Dark Water and things like that. I'd say Battle Royale you might even class as somewhat horror.
I like Battle Royale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Battle Royale is kind of like, I guess, like if you class Purge as horror, like Battle Royale is kind of
It's
like
horrific,
similar
yeah.
vibe, like
Survival kind of horror. And then, of course, Audition, I think, is... one of my
Audition.
I'd say it's horror thriller. Happiness of the Katakuris is hilarious and very fun.
My favorite Battle Royale is the Axe Kid.
Yeah.
He's my
Just sort of
favourite.
Don't know what to do, does he? Yeah.
See, I feel like I'm a little bit lacking in. Like, I've watched obviously like Ringu and stuff, but I'm more like I've watched more Korean horrors. I think.
Yeah. No, they've got some absolute bangers out there. That's why they
Tale
made it
of
on the
Two
list.
Sisters is
Yeah.
one of my favorite horrors. Of
It's a
all time.
disturbing one.
It's like, yeah, watch it.
Yeah,
If
I
I say
can't say
anything,
much.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
why I
say
stopped.
much.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
Thank you for your question. Thank you. Are you going to go on the next one?
At Josh Harris 3754, please do personal horror stories or scary stuff that's happened in your area? Question mark.
Oh, is that for a future video, I guess? Unless have you two ever had any personal scary experiences you're willing to share to this?
I remember telling one before in this podcast
Yeah?
about being stopped by the police 3 times because they're hunting for a man.
Yeah.
And then they went away, and then as I was heading home from work, he jumped out of a bush, and I just stood there staring at him like, uh-oh, this is the guy they're after, right? And then he gets rugby tackled by a police officer out of nowhere, and I was like, oh thank God. Sorry, did you have one?
That must be so
Yeah,
stressful.
I mean, obviously, like the alien one that we talked about
that's
earlier.
creepy.
We did chat a little bit about alien encounters, and I had a hag watching me, like from standing next to my bed, like fairly recently.
What?
So like I woke up and there's just like this hag figure like standing at my bedside. Like my bed's like one side is up against the wall, so
Yeah.
like I can't like. I'd have to like roll out of the window somehow to escape. But yeah, I wake up and there's like this hag woman just like watching me, like looking down
Oh
at
my
me.
God.
And like me in my sleep state, at first I was like, oh, it's my mum that's come in. And then I kind of realised that it was like a hag woman, but I was also kind of half asleep. So I just kind of sat and was like, you all right? And then she just disappeared. And like whether it was just like a leftover dream, but it was like I like to feel like she was like a ghost. She's like, oh, I'm gonna haunt this girl.
You look terrible.
Just to stress you out.
I thought she's like, oh, I'm gonna haunt you. I'm gonna get you. And then I woke up and was like, you all right? And she's like, ah, and I scared her.
Oh, there you go. You take back the power.
But like when I was younger, I think the thing that scared me most, that I would always, my friend, on that same night that we saw the UFO bit, well, it was a UFO because it was an unidentified flying object. My friend Jess told a story about her dad, and he went to stay with his grandparents. His grandfather had like passed away, so he was staying with his grandmother, and like him and his friend was staying like the coach house.
Yeah.
So he woke up in the middle of the night, and at the bottom of his bed he saw his grandfather, and he was like obviously very confused, and his grandfather just says, whatever happens, don't be afraid, and then like disappears.
Oh my God.
So he's obviously freaked out, so he's like, I'm gonna go get my dad. So he stands up and something grabs him by the ankles and starts trying to drag him under the bed, and
wow.
he's screaming. Anyway, like the dad runs in, turns on the light, and like obviously everything stops. And she was like, and I just thought it was a story. And then my dad showed me like his ankles, and he had like basically like massive like scars, like claw marks on his ankles, and it turns out he was just in like an accident, but like he made up the story to like absolutely petrify her. But yeah, like it was crazy. He does actually have those scars as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I don't know what it was, some kind of like accident at his work, and he had these scars, and he's like, I'm gonna scare the heck out of my daughter. But yeah, so for ages I was like really creeped out about getting out of bed. Like if like there was a gap under the bed, I was like, I don't want to get out of the bed in case something grabs my ankles.
Oh God, yeah. I used to get freaked out by that too.
Yeah.
No, I don't really have any that these guys haven't already heard. Is there any more?
Yeah.
Any different questions? Because I don't want to bore these guys with the same sort of things.
So,
I've already asked. Hey, Sounds of Solitude, my main man. Hey, oh man, this guy does the best like ambient videos ever. He's helped me out. Yeah, thank you.
All right, next post is from @DavidTennant135, Doctor Who.
Sweet.
Please, can you talk about some horror movies you've watched? For example, horror movies that were disturbing / weirded you out, your personal recommendations / favorites,
Oh my God.
hot takes on popular horror. For example, I hate the horror movie Sinister. I think it's bad, but everyone seems to think that one is super scary. I agree.
Yeah,
I
okay.
didn't find it scary,
It
but
wasn't scary.
everyone's just like, oh my God, it's so scary, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is it though?
I think Sinister has like the most jump scares ever in a
It
film.
was fun, like to begin with, and then it just got a little bit boring.
Yeah.
The one movie that like really did like disturb me and made me feel a little bit ill was the uncut version of Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh yeah, there's
it's-
really bad stuff that happens in there.
It's the animal violence and it's knowing that it's not a practical effect. They actually did that to those animals.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And it made me sick to the stomach. Like the human deaths, like I cared nothing about. But I probably won't. They do two versions. There's the uncut version where it shows all the animal violence, and then there's a cut version where they cut those bits out.
Yeah.
If you are curious and you want to watch Cannibal Holocaust, I recommend the cut version. Because it's too much, and I can stomach a lot, gore wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one movie that I would never watch it again.
I feel the same with Martyrs. I just really didn't think it was
Martyrs.
good. Hated it.
I quite liked Martyrs.
I just think it was so like, it's just torturing someone with an inch of their life just to get something. I found the whole concept disturbing, but I don't like the execution. I just thought like I don't like this. I think it's a bad film. But maybe that was me because my stomach was being turned by that film. I just knowing that I'll never watch it again. That's one of the ones I seek to avoid.
Shall I read the next one?
Yeah.
Alright. At Toddlesworth 2572 asks,
Toddlesworth.
can you do the top 10 scariest foods? But the thing is, there's that hot sushi horror movie trailer. Remember?
Yeah.
Dead sushi. Yeah. Dead sushi. I'll watch that. The top 5
and there's Poultry
scariest poultry
as well.
guys. Yeah, we've got 2. Here we go. Can you eat a tire? Because we got the tire film.
Yeah.
The top 5. Top 10 scariest food? Cactus?
Soylent Green?
Oh, hold on. What about
The stuff?
pufferfish? Because that can like
Fugu? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had that actually.
Fugu. Have you?
Yeah.
And you didn't pass away.
Well, not to my knowledge. I might be visiting you in some other
Jay
video.
Nightmares is a ghost right now.
No, it's disturbing because I had it mixed in with a load of rice, and I thought.
So did you order it?
I didn't order it. But it was part of like
so
a set
someone
menu.
tried to kill you, basically.
A man in a dark coat served me it and ran away.
Oh, Simpsons did a thing of that
Yeah,
as
they
well.
did.
Yeah.
The puffer
I think
fish is,
that's a scary.
Fugu is very
food.
horrible. It tastes quite nice, but every bite I was chewing, I thought
You were
I'm
fearing
closer to
for
death.
your life.
The Reaper is knocking on my door with every
See,
bite.
I didn't know if it was a question about food in horror movies or scary foods
Yeah,
IRL.
it's got something to something.
I think we've covered both, like
Yeah.
Poltergeist, the sushi movie.
Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
It's not
I think
horror,
counts,
but, you know.
food is a big part of it. The platform.
The ginger dead man.
Yeah, Ginger Dead Man. Yeah, the platform.
The menu.
Attack of the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Oh no, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, the menu.
tomatoes,
The menu, I think,
yeah.
counts.
The menu's good. I like that.
And yeah, platform counts because
I think there's something about Killer Donuts. Night of the Living
Donuts.
Bread. I think.
if you have any food horrors,
There you go. Any puns you want to
let us know.
cram in? All right. Is there any more? Because I'm
there's
conscious
3
of time.
left.
I'm sorry for taking up half of your night, guys.
It's fine.
At Vina Waldron 688 says, anyone seen the new Terrifier? Holy cow! Be prepared. It doesn't disappoint if you're into the body gore type of horror. I watched through cupped hands over my eyes.
Yeah, Terrifier 3 sounds like it's pretty intense.
I haven't seen any of them.
We
so I
haven't
plan
watched
to.
any of the Terrifiers,
I've
but we
watched
want
the
to.
first one and some of the second one.
I enjoy the
and
memes.
They're disturbing. And you know we talked about before desensitizing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wasn't ready for some of the stuff in the Terrifier films.
I've heard
Disturbing.
that it goes on for a long time.
It's not like it's
thought
not
it
like
was gonna be like-
Halloween where it's
long,
like
drawn
done,
out, yeah.
you're out.
I thought it was going to be
It's-
like comedy horror.
Oh no! Well, there's an element to that in the first one, I guess, but
Oh.
it's just slow, drawn out, absolute gore.
That's what I've
endless
heard.
screams is how I'd describe it.
Oh
Endless.
yeah.
Very, very disturbing. So no, I haven't seen that, but I think it's in the cinema at the moment, which I didn't know it would. I didn't expect it to get a UK release. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to. I think because it's been so popular and it's gained so much
Yeah.
momentum, they're doing it as a cash grab.
But the first one was bad. The second one had some really disturbing moments in it. The third one, they're saying the opening scenes in it is enough for people to leave the cinema or throw up and stuff. They always say that. They always say that. But apparently, it's a very heavy opening.
See, gore doesn't make me feel ill, but like stuff like Human Centipede makes me be a bit like, what?
I think it's closer to that.
Yeah, because you understand the idea of it and how it works.
I think it's more. It's less sort of Saw Halloween, and it's more Human Centipede.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like the
depravity. I'm not
yeah.
about the poop.
Nah, me either.
I'm about the gore, but not the poop.
And I mean, that's what's on my Tinder profile.
No, didn't someone cosplay as the Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I appreciate the memes.
How many
I salute them, like a bunch of troopers there.
Oh, is there any more for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 2 left.
2 left. All right.
Add Sharaznable. I think I read that.
Sharaznable.
Or Charaznable 0093. I hope I'm reading that correctly. Please make another yokai vid, man.
Oh yeah, yokai. Yeah. Do you know these guys? They're sort of like the.
A name of a ghost. Type?
Yeah, you're pretty much there. It's
Because I play Phasmophobia.
I play
Spirits and-
Phasmophobia. Yeah.
spirits and goblin-y kind of guys, and like
Goblin-y?
cautionary tales for children and adults to live by. So like there'd be.
Like the boogeyman and.
Yeah, the example I always say if people are unfamiliar with it is the kappa is like a creature that lives by the river, and what it does is if you get too close to the riverbed, it shoots up and it grabs you through your bum and pulls out your intestines and drags you down to the depths.
Specifically through your bum?
Specifically,
Yeah.
they will. They're very rigid on that. They will not move on that. They will get you. It will get you through that. And that is the cautionary tale. Don't play too close to the riverbed if you're a kid, because there's some disturbing monster down there that's bright green that will shoot up out of the weeds in the darkness of the murky lake and kill you. So yeah,
I can't
There's a
things like
pretty
that.
easy out though. Like you've got to trick them, and then
yeah,
if the water spills out of their lily pad, then
You could, there's all sorts.
you got to bow to them, and then their duty, politeness wise, they have to bow back to you, and then you
there's-
can run away.
Do you
But I
guys
guess there
know,
might be some conflicting.
Oh yeah, I like the legend of what it teaches rather than what it is. There's like, for example, the slip mouth woman Kuchisake Onna.
Oh, yeah.
She the reason of that is it teaches kids to go home early after school, because if you hang around after school at 5 o'clock, a woman will come up with a face mask on and take a face mask off and say, "Am I pretty?" And if you answer the wrong way, she'll get you.
That sounds like
And
a Chilla's Art idea of a game. You know those Japanese horror games I play?
Oh, they've made a game. They've made several games about.
Oh yeah,
Have
yeah.
they?
Oh man,
Oh.
it's an urban legend from the 70s. Yeah.
I guess I haven't
Yeah,
picked
it's
it
been
up. Like
going,
I just play them like, haha, scary Japanese stuff, not
I
knowing
think it's
the
one
lore.
of the
So
most well known.
Yeah, it's pretty well known. They even have.
we can play those, man.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the cautionary tales. What I really like about yokai and things like that. That these little like demonic.
So
little
the yokai
evil
is the one that
things.
grabs you from the
Yeah.
river. Okay, so
And then it appears in all sorts of different forms. It's like spirit. It's kind of like if you said Mothman, Bigfoot, all this kind of stuff. They're
Yeah.
cryptids, I suppose.
because with my gamer friends,
Yeah.
we play Phasmophobia, so I can't wait to tell them that
Folk-
lore.
yeah.
I feel like folklore has evolved into urban legends. Urban legends are cryptids and stuff. It's still an evolution of folklore. It's
It is,
just a
yeah.
modern version
And
of folklore.
I absolutely love that because it's passing down stories through generations in different mediums. In mediums we can understand. Like if some of these, if you take like the Wendigo and stuff like that, for example,
Yeah.
that story that's old as time, and it's still prevalent in our what we're talking about discourse and stuff. But I love that. I think there should be more of that, like, oh my god, like the boogeyman, things like that. That's, I've known that
And
since
if
I
you
was a
think
kid.
about it,
My
if
parents
they're
know that since I
if
was a
they're
kid.
that old, it's been passed down verbally, not really written
Yeah.
down much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love all different cultures having these kind of creepy things that are just in the background, just waiting to be talked about. I love it.
Yeah. And by the way, the last comment is just
Shut up.
LV Hydebrink just asking when the stream is starting.
The stream starts then.
The stream starts a while ago.
Yeah, sorry. I think you may have joined. I hope so. But I thank you all for tuning in, and I'm very conscious of time because it's getting a bit later.
Let me ask you guys my question.
You please, let's go for it.
I'll ask you first, J Nightmares. If you could make a horror film,
Yes.
and you could have any actors you want. You have complete control over it. Budget is not like an. It's not like a
No issue.
Yeah, no issue. You can do whatever you want. What would you make?
Oh wow.
And you don't have to go into like the details of the story. You can just give like a vibe, like what sort of thing would you make? Would you have like certain directors, certain actors you would want in it?
I always had an idea for a film, and it's because I've lived in Japan for a while, so it's going to be a bit.
You have? No way!
Rubbing my eyes in shock. No, because I lived over there, I've seen some of this, how they do things in the culture, but I think this could work. So the idea I have is a film called I'm Your Fan. Right, and they have idol groups in Japan. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Like loads of girls dancing around on stage, and they get these super obsessive fans. And they go to, if they're playing in one part of Japan, they'll go to the next show, and the one after, and the one after. They'll travel the length and breadth of the country just to watch these guys play. So my idea is sort of similar to a film that I absolutely love called Pin from 1988, and it's there's a guy who's a fan of this touring idol group. Sort of like Perfect Blue, if you guys have seen it. Yeah. And he just keeps watching them, and then he tries to make his own version of the idol he loves, like the singer he loves, in his garage or attic or basement or somewhere creepy. And he dresses it up like it, and then all of a sudden, the one in the attic or garage or wherever starts telling him that the other one is a fraud. And it's his duty to go and take care of the other one.
Cool.
So I don't know who I'd have for that. I'd want some kind of like closed off, like weird loner type, I think. I'd probably, I mean, if I could pick any kind of time, I'd probably go with like Christian Bale when he was in the Machinist or something.
Yeah.
Skinny, weirdo, sleep deprived loner.
Get Elijah Wood. He could do
Yeah,
it.
he'd do a job.
Maniac, remember?
He'd do a job in that.
M. Night did a good job on Trap. Like,
Yeah.
Have you
I've seen Trap.
seen
Yeah,
like the
Trap.
comparison between Perfect Blue and Black Swan?
No. It's good.
Look it up.
I'll have to look it up.
Because like I enjoyed both, obviously, and then I think it was CZ's World did a Black Swan video, and he did like a segment on it's the same story as Perfect Blue.
You'd like his videos.
I wrote an essay when I was at uni on Perfect Blue, and I told my professor at Oxford one thing that he said he's never heard of before, and it was the weirdest thing ever. Now, in Perfect Blue, she keeps a fish tank, and it's sort of like a nothing thing, but it's in so many scenes, and the importance of what's in the fish tank is what determines a lot of her thoughts and feelings. She keeps a certain. Oh, I'm such a nerd now because I used to.
No, I love it.
I used to keep
Nerd
fish.
up, buddy.
Yeah, I used to keep fish, and there's still some at my parents' house that I periodically look in on. So in Perfect Blue, she has a certain type of fish called a neon tetra, and this is the only type of fish that is susceptible to changes in water through stress.
Right.
So when she comes home and notices that her fish are dead, it's because whatever's going to happen is about to happen. So it's sort of like
cool.
yeah. And I was
That's amazing.
I thought people do. Well, I'm not going to say I'm smart or anything, but
No,
like,
you're smart. Yeah, you can say that.
and I thought, wow. I was surprised that it wasn't in any of the books that I was looking through writing my essay, and I was stressing about the essay, and I was
So
glad that.
when you found that out and then rewatched it, were you like, oh, I see it now. Yeah,
I just noticed it because I was interested in fish at the time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you know, like I do, like a lot of fun facts, like you pick up on so much when you watch films.
That's the joy of film, isn't it? You've got to look for stuff that's, important to your own life as well as what's on screen. Yeah.
So same question, Raz. Like, what would you make?
Well, I had that stream idea earlier, the found footage one, but I would just like to see another Northman, to be honest. Like, just Robert Eggers doing more Viking stuff. Like that.
Yeah, but like a horror.
I'd probably get the original Saw guys, Jay Winnell and James Wan, to just do, I don't know, another Saw maybe, like just similar to Saw 1. Like, well, speaking of which, I showed Charlie Death Sentence recently.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Like
seen
Kevin Bacon, and I've been trying to get her to watch it for a long time, but what was it? You thought it was just some B-movie action?
No, I didn't think it was B-movie. I just didn't. I thought it was going to be like just like an action movie, I guess.
Like a one-up.
I didn't think it was going to be bad. I thought it would be just like a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah, but that's from, well, Leigh Whannell's written and stars in it, and James Wan directed it, and Kevin Bacon's in it, and another movie like that, just from the original Saw guys, like, yeah, I'm so glad that she liked it. I've been trying to show you for
I was
ages.
really
and
impressed.
The impact of the first Saw film was massive to me. I thought it was such a great...
I watched Saw 2 first. Like, I knew, because my friends were like, we're going to watch our movie at the movie theater. Okay. And I go there, and I was just like, oh, that was cool. So what's the first one like? And they were like, don't watch it. It's stupid. It's just two guys in one room. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. But I watched it anyway, and I was like, this is way better than Saw 2. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what are they talking about?
This thing is so cool with the way they did things with the tapes and
Yeah.
the voice and all the creepy things and just his life story as well.
I know I brought up Kingsfire a lot. I love films that are just taking place in one location,
Yeah.
and the script is so good that you're just locked into what they're
Oh
talking
my
about.
God. Yeah.
Like The Hide. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
the Hyde
Like-
phone booth.
Yeah, phone booth.
What's that Jake Gyllenhaal one where he's like a dispatch guy? That's really good.
Oh, on the on the phone call,
yeah,
yeah.
that's-
Because it's the fact that you just know the writing's so well done, you're just hooked in, and it was a low budget film because they're in one room or one location, and yeah, I just love films like that.
The
Have you
one where
ever-
what's his face is buried alive. Is it just called
Oh.
Buried?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's
Have you
called.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Rashomon?
No.
This Japanese one from 1954. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's like you say, like a location. These people come together to take refuge from like a storm underneath like this destroyed kind of half burned down temple or whatever, and each of them has a story, and you just listen to one person tell a
that's
story,
cool.
and like in the end their stories kind of intertwine. You're like, one of you's lying. You know, which somebody's on the lookout for. It's Akira Kurosawa,
Yeah.
so it's really it's a
yeah.
really good one. I think it won an
another-
Oscar. I think it's a really
wanna
great film.
watch
I want
that.
to check it out. Another one is like The Circle.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
yeah.
really
It's
good.
like
I enjoyed
30
that.
people are just stood in a circle, and like after every 2 minutes, one of them just dies. The ball.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw
I'm,
that.
I'm not going to say
Yeah.
where they are, what it
Yeah.
is, because it's a big deal.
That sounds mad. Yeah,
But just movies like that,
It's
where
really good.
and because you just know it's low budget, one location, and it's cleverly written, so therefore you just
yeah.
that it's gonna make money, from a low budget, and yeah, I just love films like that.
See, I would go completely different to you guys. Like, I would make a folk horror, like, think like the vibe of Robert Eggers, but with the creature stuff from Del Toro.
Ooh.
So, like, imagine Del Toro meets Eggers, and I don't know who I'd have in it, but, like, that's the vibe I would go for. And I would really love it to explore more, like, Celtic folklore.
That sounds good.
And I don't feel like there's that many films that do, but I think the way Robert Eggers makes films, like, it would work really well if he directed something like that.
Yeah.
But like the attention to like fairy tales and folklore and the creature design of Del Toro combined with that would just be
Be a match
Chef's
made in
kiss.
heaven, wouldn't it?
I
Yeah.
also want Eggers to do something in space, sci-fi, something like Sunshine.
Well, now he's gone for full,
Yeah.
old style Dracula
Yes.
stuff. Maybe fancies a change.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting the Northman.
no,
at all,
no.
so-
That's totally different, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So,
I was expecting pure horror from him for always, but then he did that. Yeah.
yeah.
so you never know. Eggers in space.
Eggers in space.
We could do a whole podcast on Robert Eggers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have
Do
so many
the
things
Eggy
to say,
podcast.
yeah.
We will just do a Nosferatu
Soft-boiled
podcast yeah, next year.
Oh, wait,
Everyone
maybe
in
we do that,
chat, everyone in chat, spam egg emoji. Eggs out for Eggers,
Yeah, no, we'll
for sure.
have to do something like that for next time.
I guess like I'd have Ralph Inez and Robert Pattinson in it.
Ralph Inez is a fella from The Office as well, isn't he?
He's the guy who's in The
Finchy,
Witch.
yeah.
I just bought Lord of Misrule as well that he's in, which is a folk horror.
Is it? I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I've
that.
wanted to watch it for ages.
He's
so-
a guy who's got a really tough voice. Yeah, I can't do his voice. It's so unique. That's why.
Yeah, I'd have him, Robert Pattinson, like sort of British actors.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. Why not?
Got a huge budget for this film.
Yeah, you can. Well, the budget
your
is no.
imagination. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, there's no restrictions.
Righto. Well, I think I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I will post the list of the horror films that I'm going to plan on watching from the 13th to the 31st. If anybody's joined late, in the comments at some point. And all I can say is thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for the wonderful comments and interactions from everybody.
Yeah, you guys were awesome.
And big thank you to the two people sat with me who made it fun, because imagine just listening to my voice for ages. You can't do it.
Yeah.
There's fountains of knowledge gushing all over me.
The guy
Oh no, that sounds weird.
The guy that hasn't seen enough movies, and the girl with all the fun facts and books.
Between us, we make a hell of a quiz team.
Yeah.
And I've grown to really love this Halloween tradition that we have.
It's good fun, isn't it?
I look forward to it
like
now every year.
Santa of Halloween.
It's like, Jay Nightmares must be like coming up with his list soon. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming and joining in. And
Yeah, it's very
great
fun.
comments.
Thank you guys. It's a fun way to spend a Saturday with you all. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melons. There's so many cool melons. It always makes me laugh.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.